just wrapped up with my dude, Lucius Allure. Man, this is my long-term friend. Haven't seen the man in how many years? 25?
No, it's been a little less.
15 years, 18 years? A long ass time. Used to run in the streets with this guy. We used to do jackass stunts. We used to literally fill up a medicine cabinet, little medicine thing full of fucking sand and throw it at each other's nuts, bro. We used to do that.
That'd be a fun episode to just talk about the jackass shit.
Yo, this dude did some shit called extreme crutch vaulting. So he used to get into a wrestling singlet. We'd find a shallow stream, and he would nasty, and he would crutch vault into the stream. I remember we went to
14-year-old me jumping out of a tree in a man thong that looked like an elephant trunk and
into the bushes, the sticker bushes.
The sticker bushes. Yeah, we called it extreme sticker bush diving.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, man. We talk about life. We talk about this man's journey, his viral moment on TikTok, the many adventures he's had, following his calling. He's still following his calling. This dude is inspirational as shit and will get you thinking a little bit different. Yeah. So please, I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Thank you for listening. Allure.
Yo,
I've known this man since I was probably like...
It was like 4th grade.
Yeah.
Ish.
What is that?
I don't
9,
even know.
10? What is that? 11?
Something like that,
10.
yeah.
I would say 10.
Somewhere
10
around there.
I turned 10 in 4th grade.
Wow.
Or maybe I turned 11. I turned 11 because my parents bought me something that got Mist. Remember Mist?
Oh my God, for the computer?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That was an old ass
No,
game.
10. It's 10. 1994 is when Mist
10
came out. I just lived in
years
Chicago,
old.
so 10 years old.
Wow.
Dang, that's crazy.
Okay, so that was 4th grade, 10 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you say 4th grade, I feel like...
Older.
I feel younger. I don't know why.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you say
Yeah.
4th, I'm like, oh, just 4th grade? I'm like a little child, but then it's like 10, okay.
Dude, so let's see. That's
take us back.
25 years, bro.
I don't like that.
That's crazy.
I don't like
huh?
that it's been so long.
No, that's. I mean, it's cool though. At the same time, though.
It's a trip.
It's a trip.
It's
for
a trip
sure.
that life, it doesn't matter.
What's the trip is that it feels like yesterday, you know? Because
Yeah.
like a lot of the things, right? Because like I haven't, like I think the last time I saw you, it was like at this party at some guy in Lucas Kogut's house or something like that. And like, I don't know, I hooked up with some chick that night, but like you were doing some like work program where you were like traveling or something, and like you were like stopped right there through town or some shit. Yeah.
We met up.
That was like literally, yeah, it was just like at a random party, and that was the last time I saw you. And before like that, I can't remember when the last time was. It was like a long time.
No, I was
like,
going door to door, probably selling cable. That's probably what I was doing.
It might have been, yeah.
That's funny,
And then
and
you
that's
showed up at
awesome.
a party or something.
See, that's the thing about when you're selling cable, or when you're out here just, you know, you run into each other again, right? So we were kids and we hung out all the time, and then it's like you don't see each other for a long time, and then
but we hung out deep though, like from kids to like when was it that we kind of stopped?
I left town. So I left town.
We were teenagers at least.
I got
because there was
captured.
all the jackass.
Everybody eventually leaves town over there, right?
I got captured, dude. I was in fucking high school and I was smoking weed, and my mom was like, we can't have this. So then she set up a fake doctor's appointment to get me kidnapped by my biological father, who brought me to Spokane and said,
So
we're
that's
going
why
to
you
get you off of
disappeared
this.
then.
Yeah, man.
Bro.
So I disappeared. I literally had a girlfriend. I had a whole life. All of a sudden, one day, I think I'm going to a doctor's appointment. All of a sudden, we pull up. I used to actually have a bong in the backpack. I just put a sock over a bong and was like, they don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, you smell like fucking bong, dude. Like, That's your whole backpack. So basically, I think
You
we're
kept
going.
the water in it?
I can't remember.
No, fresh water.
I think I might have kept fresh water in it.
Okay,
just
fresh
ready
water,
to go.
fresh water. Yeah.
But I was like, we were like going to this doctor's appointment. I'm like, why are we going this way? And she's, I just got to go home and get something real quick. And then, oh no. Anyways, got abducted, got taken to Spokane. And then that's when, it all got disconnected because I was just uprooted and
For
then
sure.
fucking went to
No
job
cell
corps.
phone.
And then I didn't see you until
No.
that party.
And then I ended up randomly, and that's the internet is cool because it helps people stay together,
Yeah,
like
for
stay
sure.
connected more.
That's one of the cool things. Like, we may have been like far apart over the years, but like I still feel like close and like kind of caught up a little bit, because like we've caught up with each other throughout the years on social media. And I always like to send you like my artistic things and everything, especially based on like the things that we used to do together, like sipping 40s and like freestyling and things like that. Like that's like, bro, like
that's the
for
best.
real, like literally,
That's the
like
best.
I'm not even kidding you. Like right now, like I'm about to tell you some like secret shit. Like, yo, bro, you like hella inspired me like into my rapping and everything like that. And like one of the second times I ever smoked weed, it was like at your mom's house, like, or whatever, like across the street from Chris's house,
Yeah, yeah.
and we were in the backyard. It was like a sleepover, me, you, and Bryce and shit, and like we were watching
Beavis
8
and
Mile
Butthead and shit?
and 8 Mile, yeah, bro, yeah,
unlocking shit.
yeah.
Wow, in the tent. It was like in a tent.
Yeah, bro, we were in a tent. We were like camping in the back. We were in the tent, and then we went in the garage and like skated and watched like Beavis and Butthead. We were all cracking up, super stoned. Like we got like,
Dude, the
we
best
broke into the
times.
munchies and everything, right? And like you said in the car, like Chris got the puffins. Like you had the good cereal, right? And we were fucking high as shit, bro. Like we were so high, and we were just like
No, I
chugging
remember-
down, like watching 8 Mile. I'm like, dude, this is sick, yo, bro. Look at Eminem, yo.
Dude,
he's white, bro. He's a rapper and shit.
I literally remember just like weed hitting way different back then. Because we were watching Beavis and Butthead and that shit was too funny.
Dude, it was like acid or some shit.
It
We
was
were
like
like
acid.
melting on the couch with Beavis
one
and
little
Butthead.
hit of weed would do it. Remember that?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
That was a trip.
Turn on the
wow,
giggle box.
bro. You just brought back a memory quick.
Yo.
So holy shit. I don't honestly, bro. The only place I know where to start.
Right,
Because
let's keep it. Yo.
because we don't need to go back. Where I want to start right now is you fucking drove from LA
Yo, I did, yeah.
to here.
That's true.
Dude, talk about a little bit about your mindset, your philosophy,
yes.
and talk about what, like, most people wouldn't do that.
Right.
So
okay.
I want to know.
Yeah. Dude, let's do it. Okay, so like we did our jackass stuff. We got crazy. This is all going to come back around and everything, okay? Like I ended up like going through my party days and all that, and then I started pursuing music hardcore because I'd been inspired, dude. Like once I started to like write, I started writing raps and
So
everything.
when was
you
this?
know?
This is like when
That
you
was
were
like,
younger.
I'm just like skimming through from like where we left off just now until like
you're a
then, just to give you
teenager, 20
like
years
21.
old.
You know,
Okay,
like I
okay.
start rapping and stuff like that.
okay.
Like, and then like I'm going and I'm doing music hardcore. Like with my friend Paul. I don't know if you remember Paul. He was in a wheelchair. He had muscular dystrophy. His name was Cripple. Like that's what he told people to call him.
And now I feel like I remember a little
bro,
bit.
like yeah, and
Kinda
so
a little bit.
and yeah, so like, and he was so supportive of me. He was like, "Yo, you got to do it." Like I like had moved in with him, and he was like constantly talking me up, and like and I'm like investing in myself and like the time to like start writing, and like I'm writing these raps and stuff. I start like, and then I open up and start singing and everything, and then I start like bringing piano back because I had like 11 years of professional training
Yeah,
as a
I
child
remember
with
the
piano.
piano.
Yeah. And so like I start playing and singing, like, and then I'm like, I can't lug a fucking piano around everywhere I go, so like I pick up a guitar, start teaching myself guitar, learn guitar, like start writing tons of songs. I had like hundreds of songs that like, I'm not even kidding, bro. Like I had like multiple like stacks, like, and I'm just like living in this house with Paul, like as his caregiver, kind of like smoking weed every day. And we're just like getting paid to like,
Is this Bremerton?
hang out. Yeah. In Bremerton and everything. And so like, then I I have this massive experience, which is like tied in with like the one song I sent you that had like the spoken words type of stuff. It's real deep, real spiritual, has to do with the devil and all that type of stuff. But and then it goes on to me meeting this girl right after that. And then the girl and I end up getting married like 6 months later. It's like this huge high, this love high, like, and then slowly it's like these little things start coming in my brain and like taking me out of like doing music, right?
Okay, wait.
So I go
hold
through
on.
this huge trauma, right? Because she like this 8-year marriage, right?
This is okay. So hold on. This is real
Yeah.
shit we're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let me back up real quick because
I mean, you asked about the mindset. This is how we get there, right? And like for me, it makes sense to go from point A all the way through the steps,
where you're at
right?
right
You know,
now.
if you have a recipe, there's like you don't go like these are the ingredients. You know what I mean? Like.
Okay, keep going.
Right, yeah. So let me cook for you, okay?
Okay, keep going,
yeah.
keep going.
So let's see. So wait, where did
So
I
you
leave
met
off?
her 8-year
Yeah, 8-year marriage. You know, we have 2 kids. It's extremely toxic though with me and her. Like, and she is like, and ultimately, like, I was held in this relationship due to like my spiritual beliefs, my religious beliefs. Like thought that like God would hate me if I like got a divorce or something like that. And like so, and ultimately though, like I feel like I was holding myself in that relationship until I learned what the lesson was that I needed to learn. You know, yeah, and that was ultimately that I needed to go for myself. You know, like I needed to like nurture these gifts inside because these are a gift, not just to me, like to everyone else and everything like that, right?
Okay.
You know, and like so. So then it was Valentine's Day 2020 that the divorce was like finalized. And like we went through like this super messy, like really crazy divorce. And like I was working for the Department of Defense in like doing some nuclear stuff I can't talk about. And like it was a big career and everything, right? And like once the divorce happened, like Washington being a women's state and all that, like, and me like looking the way I do and everything like that, like all the cards were kind of stacked against me in court. They're like, yeah, you have the money, like she's the woman, obviously she should take the kids, it's the woman's state and all this stuff. So I had to like go through this whole messy divorce where she like got me a bunch of debt, like all this stuff just piled on top, you know, like, and I'm like, there's no way out of this right now, like, and like my job isn't paying enough, right? And then all of a sudden my job's like, yo, guess what, like you're now like a financial, you're like a security liability now because of your financial status, and like we don't want any like other countries to be able to like buy off any information from you or anything like that. So like you have to either like resign yourself and then you can come back maybe later in the future, or you can like, you know, wait and get walked out and never come back. And I'm like, okay. So like I ended up, you know, forcefully being resigned, and then like going and like, what do I do now? Like, and then she like on top of that, like I was also stacked with like you know, child support and all that stuff. Meanwhile, like no way to pay for it because I'm like, no more job, like no more career, you know, like all this stuff, like everything was like,
Jesus.
you know, it was a big bomb, you know, like, but at the same time, it was like, you are not where you need to be. You are not even living your life right now. Like, you are not, like, your expression, like, who you are is fucking dead right now. Like, and it was like, wow, dude, I'm, like, so far away from, like, who I love being, you know? Like, how do I get back to that? You know what I mean? Like, how do I find my joy in life again? Like, I can't do some fucking job again and like have this all crash down. Like this is like any kind of job ultimately now, like from where I'm at in life in this point, is like, you know, it's ultimately someone else's job, and like I have no control over like it being pulled out from under me based on their actions and all that, right? You know, so then I take and I like invest my like what little retirement I had in my in like a little mentorship program, start doing like online marketing and all that stuff, and like trying to learn like, you know, all that, while also kind of diving into Instagram and t-shirt modeling and things like that, you know, and just like allowing myself to express again, because I was to a point where I didn't even like to be seen. Like I would be on swing shift, like, you know, like just sitting in like a dark fucking corner on my phone like all the time, you know, like wanting to like express, and then like coming home, and then like I did like around that time, like I did get like a recording studio equipment, and so I would like on swing shift, I'd come home and I'd start to
And
kind
you
of
were
like
still with your
that was no
with your ex at this time or no?
with my ex when I started to kind of record, kind of backtrack just a
so
second there.
when
but
you
like,
were in that relationship, you weren't doing any music.
no, I cut out all the way, and then like when I finally when I started to notice like shit's going, you know, like this is terrible, like, and when I finally started to like learn my lessons with that relationship and everything and move on, then I was able to like see like, whoa, dude, like I actually have a huge passion inside me that wants to come alive, that's like wanted to, you know, do something here, and like all is not lost from that relationship. Like all is actually won from that relationship because of the things that I learned and the mindset that I was able to create through that. You know, like I've went through like,
That's awesome.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah, and like
Just to have that mindset,
right
after going through
and
some shit, you know?
yeah, and then so like then she gets kind of like and I don't want to I want to say this right now, like ahead of time, like no shade on this woman, like I loved her, you know, and I still love her, you know, from a distance and all that and everything, you know, like this is just story.
It's complicated
You know,
shit too.
it is, yeah. And you know, like she's got her own experience that she's here to learn and all that too. Yeah, this is just my perspective on everything.
Yeah.
It's just like, you know, like so like she started to fall off on drugs and like really like was putting like my kids were getting in danger, like really hardcore danger.
Because
And
basically, like there was like alcoholism and
Yeah.
then quitting and then coming back. Like
yeah. So
like,
through the marriage, let's say like we had one, like, so we have one kid, right? It was like a cycle, right? It was like toxic. It was like one toxic outbreak. Boom, we find out we're pregnant. We have a kid. It's all you know, rainbows and unicorns up until a point, and then all of a sudden, alcoholism was the first bomb on that relationship when it like really went down. Like the whole time there was like narcissistic abuse going on, and I was being abused. Like, you know what I mean? And I didn't know that though, you know, like I didn't know what was going on, and it was being flipped on me to where I was being, you know, like that's what they do, like they make you think that you're the one who's like the problem, and ultimately like
Yeah.
it could be, you know, like
No,
ultimately
it's that
you have to
gaslight.
take
That's what it is.
Ultimately you do end up having to take the responsibility for like, yo, I kept myself there that long.
No, but
did.
I mean, it's not
Right.
your fault though.
Right.
So
No. Yeah. But like, yeah. So like, so alcoholism was the first boom, and then I end up getting custody of Sophia at that time, like my daughter, and
So this is after the first court
Yeah.
thing that you went through.
Yeah.
And then you guys were back together. Or?
yeah, that was before like the divorce. We're kind of
Oh,
backtracking.
okay.
here.
Yeah.
Backtracking
Okay.
a
And
little
so
bit.
then you got the kids.
I ended up getting the kids ultimately after she starts doing a whole bunch of drugs, like heroin and meth and like some other stuff. And like, dude, I want to say too, like she's got some cards stacked against her too. Like she's got like 5 different like diagnosed mental disorders that we found out about through
it's
the
never for
marriage.
no reason.
Right, yeah.
It's just that we're all out here freestyling
Yeah.
and don't know what the
Yeah.
fuck we're dealt. Like the cards were dealt. Exactly like you're saying.
You know, yeah. So like, anyway, so like, I come out of this and I'm like, you know, it was Valentine's Day 2020 when the divorce was finalized. At that point, I'd done like, I'd really started leaning back into the music with
So
myself.
wait, you had the kids at this point or no? You did.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No. That was
So when the divorce,
no.
because
So-
before
okay, so
you had.
here's the progression with the divorce. It goes divorce, and then I had another year and a half or so of court to get the kids, and that was the scary time.
God damn.
That scary time right there,
Tell
where it
me
was
about
back
that.
and forth.
Like where you
kinda.
you didn't know if you were gonna get
Yeah,
them
it
or
was like
lose
50-50, right? So like she would have them 50%
So it wasn't
of
a
the
partial
time.
custody. This was like a whole.
It was back and forth 50-50, week on, week off for that entire time, and I had to like prove what was happening when they were at her house to get custody.
What do you mean? Prove to
Like the drugs and stuff that were
Oh,
happening.
you had to prove that it was like an
Yeah.
unfit.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, expressing yourself through
Yeah.
music.
Ultimately, like the way I ended up getting the kids was I had to get them like exposure tested, and then boom, and I was like, immediately I got custody of the kids, and then we ended up getting an apartment, and she started kind of like she was like, I don't know, it was a little harassment going on around that time too, and it was like really scary. Like our tires got slashed once and everything like that, and like I don't know, it was kind of like this. We were living in
and this is just you and the kids.
Yeah,
like,
me and the kids.
So she was doing this shit basically.
Yeah, she was fucking around, Yeah.
Like getting your tires slashed or slashing your tires or whatever. Like,
I mean,
because it would be nobody else.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So you're dealing with this. You're trying to fucking. You got the apartment. You're just trying to get your life back
together. But at
together
the same time,
here.
right? Yeah. So like when the bomb dropped and then my job was taken from me, and I'm like, oh shit. I started smoking weed again because I'm like, fuck it. The government ain't gonna P-test me now.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And then that's when I start like leaning in back into like
creativity,
natural remedies, creativity. Yeah.
How long had you not smoked?
Oh man, that was like 7 years, bro.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you were like, fuck, I want to smoke the whole time.
Dude.
Yeah.
It's calling you.
It was different. Yeah, like it was different time though. Like my priorities were different.
That's
yeah.
a strong man right there to
That's
quit
strong.
for 7 years.
Yeah, that's hard to do.
Dude, I've done, and I mean like,
bro,
I haven't even had a sip of alcohol since 2015. Not because I'm like was an alcoholic or because I like went through any program or anything like that. Just because like one day it like flipped off for me and I was just like,
I don't want it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you don't drink right now?
Nah.
Oh wow, I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice.
Cheers.
We've been
Got that
hanging,
berry
we've
red
been hanging
over
out with this
here,
guy for the
berry
last
red,
2
yeah.
hours. I didn't even realize you didn't drink.
No, I get blazed as fuck with you. Bro.
Yeah,
We're
I
living
love
that high life. Yeah.
I love that. Anyway.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay, so lead me a little bit to
Let's see.
where you end up on TikTok, because
Right.
kind of a journey.
This is where I start doing TikTok. This is. Yeah,
so
this
okay,
is
so you're
it.
in your apartment.
Yeah,
she's
I'm in
slashing your fucking tires.
Yeah, all this stuff.
Now,
yeah,
keep me
I'm
going.
starting to do TikTok. I'm starting to like, but I'm scared. I hate like it's really like all my familial patterns. Like everything in me is telling me like, don't be seen, hide. Like hide yourself, bro. Yeah, and like inside, I'm like, get the fuck on the screen, bitch.
No, so your brain is like, come on.
No, and my heart though,
and
like
your
the
soul,
spirit,
yeah.
because it's the inspire, the spirit,
and then it's almost that like trauma that was keeping you from doing it. It was the trauma that was like,
the
don't
trauma
be
actually,
seen.
no, the trauma was the weight that I was lifting and everything, right? At first, and now like once you lift it and you pull it back, really you're pulling back a slingshot. Think about it. And then when you let go of that trauma, then you skyrocket forward to like the life that you want, right?
Damn, that's a good way to say it,
right? And like while you're going through that trauma, you're just pulling this back the whole time. You're pulling that rubber band back. So like if you're going through trauma right now, like you're pulling that rubber band back. It hurts and it's hard and it's working your muscles. It's like you're at the gym, and then when you let go, boom, you're gonna shoot forward. You know what I mean?
It's all worth it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's exactly what happened with my spirit. Like as soon as like I realized, yo, this is not your life. You're fucking dead, basically. Like I was like, dude, all right, music. What's next? Like I started doing yoga every day. This is when I went full on vegan and like started doing all that type of stuff and like getting really healthy with my body. And this is like so. I started by like cutting out things like meat first, and then like cheese and like dairy and all that stuff. Like, and it's been a slow 5-year journey now at this point, and like I feel like I have it dialed in with my knowing and my wisdom now of like what my body needs. You know what I mean? And like one of the things I knew in that time is like, yo, if you're gonna go forward and you're not gonna like rely on someone else's job that they're handing out, like. What are you gonna do to like make it so that you can actually like stand the test of time, like and like last this fucking marathon of life here? You know what I mean? And so like then I realized this is gonna be like a big ass like foundation type of building thing. Yeah, and that's kind of like where I'm at right now. Is like I've built this huge foundation. I built a bunch of walls and everything, and they're all kind of laying on the ground and everything. You know what I mean? And we're just about to rise up the house. But yeah.
Bring
so,
me
like,
back. Yeah. Because we're at.
So where we're at, yeah. Wait.
You had an apartment. You got the kids.
Yeah.
You had to fight for a year and a half in court.
Yeah.
You got them.
Yeah.
Now continue me on the journey. You start doing TikTok.
Yeah. So at first I had like 700 followers for the first 2 years of TikTok. This is while I'm in that apartment and all that stuff, kind of, like. and
kind of figuring shit out, getting your creativity back,
yeah,
you know, hanging with the kids, like getting this whole dynamic going.
Another thing too is like during that year and a half though, like what I was doing was investing in myself. I read probably like 200 or 300 different books, like no joke. Yeah, every single day I would wake up, I would read. I had this like entire like structure for my day. Right, like, and I had a juicer and all these different things. Right,
you sound like a pretty disciplined guy,
definitely,
just in your normal nature.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and like the thing is, like, it's been learning the balance between like staying disciplined, but also allowing the creativity flow.
It's balanced.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
it's definitely
for sure.
balanced because no structure isn't good, and but you got to have the structure. Also allows the creativity to flow.
Yeah,
because you're like, hey, I got
a good structure. Will
you're like, as long as I do these things, then I know I can be creative, and then this will be okay.
A bad structure is like a box. You just like
where you're like, I can't do anything outside of this.
Yeah.
No, and you got to leave some areas open. So
so during that time, I'm reading all these books. I'm doing all this inner work, right? I'm like vision boarding, you know, like I'm like journaling. I'm like all the things you can possibly think of, like watching Tony Robbins, like, you know, seminars, and like this dude Aaron Doughty, like all sorts of people, like, you know, trauma experts and everything like that, like working through my own self.
So your mindset right now is you're like, okay, I need to work out this shit. Work this shit out that I've been going through, so I can get my mind right, so I can be here for my kids, and harness my abilities.
Building a foundation, right?
You're building a foundation.
Yeah, right.
So you're really starting from ground zero right there.
Which is right here. It's connected to me, right? It's like I'm always in this ground zero, you know, ground one, maybe, whatever, you know.
Well, you're built up now a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But like at this point in the time in the story, you're kind of like...
Right. But like what I'm saying is like at that point in the story, my focus was like, I need to go back. I need to like stop focusing on basically everything outside to get a good foundation and focus solely inside.
Beautiful.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what am I needing right now? Like, because I just like went through like a whole bunch of crazy
lot of reflection,
stuff.
I'm sure, on what I went through. Like all this. Yeah.
Analysis, right? Like that's a funny word too. I was actually thinking about that yesterday. It's funny. Analysis or analyze, right? It's like you're looking at something, right? You're looking at something that you processed, right? It's like your butt has eyes, anal eyes. Anyways, this is funny. So anyways,
so whatever you sit on, you see.
Right. So be careful what you sit on, right? You might get fucked. All right, where were we though? Like
no, so now we're moving. You got TikTok, 700 followers.
Yeah, 700 followers. Right. I'm doing all this inner work. I'm doing all this stuff, right? Like, and I go through and I'm like, okay, there's this one specific day. It was like 2/22/22, and I'm like, I had actually through that time I'd also recorded like 3.5 albums worth of music, and it's online to stream like right now. So definitely go stream that right now. But like so then let's see. I had a brain fart.
TikTok, 700 followers.
Yeah. So 2/22/22. I wrote this letter to God. I'm like, all right. So this is. I sat down. I'm like, this is my intention. I'm going to write a letter to God, and then I'm going to sit with the pen in my hand and just write whatever comes out afterwards as His response. You know what I mean? And then we'll go from there. You know what I mean? And so that's what I did. I wrote this letter to God. Like, this is what I want for my life. You know, like I want like. You know, like a quality life for me and my kids where we can like, you know, actually thrive, you know, and I want loving relationships, you know, that build me up and that like really support me and my authentic expression and different things like that, you know, like, and just this whole list, you know, super authentic and open. And then I came through with the response, and it was like, and it just came immediately, like the words, you know, like they always come for me right now. Like it's and it was like, you know, be yourself, you know, like allow yourself to just be, you know, like, and it gave me a list of just different things for me to do kind of, you know, and then 3/14, not even a month later, maybe 3 weeks later, the expansion inside started getting really like, I knew something was shaking, like shit was like, shaken up. Like the apartment that we were at, we had 3 months left, rent paid. I was in this whole situation where like I was getting government assistance and they had me doing like 40 hours a week of school for $700 a month for me to pay for all of my stuff.
Damn.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, dude, none of this is gonna work, and like we're gonna come crashing at that end of 3 months, like, you know, and like, you know, shit's shaking up, like, and I'm like, I don't want to be here, like, you know, there's all this, I feel like I'm in this place where all this trauma happened to me, and I'm like a pot that like my roots are like at the edge, and like I need to get
more.
out, you know, like, yeah. And like 3/14, I went and I dropped my kids off at their little schools, you know, like, and I go and I
3/14, you're saying March 14th.
March 14th. Yeah.
You just have that date in your head.
For sure. And it's also, well, it's
2022.
interesting. It's pi, right? It's like the circumference of the circle.
Oh, you're
3.14,
right.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 3/14.
Damn.
Bro. Yeah.
So do you like tie
Math,
things
dude,
to these?
Math is a thing.
Okay. Keep going though. Keep going.
So let's see. Where was I?
You're at 3/14.
Yeah. So 3/14, right? And I drop my kids off at school. I get a coffee, right? And I'm like walking, and I drive to a spot. It's like this really nice nature area in Paulsbo, and I like take a walk, and I'm praying, like, you know, I'm ready. Whatever it is, I don't care. Like, just tell me where to go, and we're gonna go. You know, like, I'm ready. You know, I'm done being here in this situation.
Yeah.
You know, like, and it was quiet, like the whole walk, right? And then I get to the car, I open the door, I sit my butt in the seat, and the second my butt hit the seat, it was like a thought came in my mind: go to California. And I was like, oh shit, what? No, what? Like, for real? Like, what? Yeah. And I'm like, I'm tripping out, kind of like, because I was like, it was like weird. I don't know. It was
The
like,
shit came to you.
yeah, bro. And it was like, oh shit. And then like, so then I leave the parking lot, right? And this is how I know I'm in alignment. I start seeing angel numbers everywhere. Like 555s, like 1111, like every single license plate is like a triple digit of the same one or whatever.
So is that
you know?
what an angel number is? I'm not familiar.
Yeah, for sure. It's
So
like,
that's-
sometimes it can be really in depth. Like angel numbers are like, they can let you know you're in alignment, like that, right? Where you're like, you see them all over. You're like, oh shit, like I'm definitely like in alignment, at least for me, right?
Okay, yeah.
And or like other things that let you know like that you're balanced would be like mirror numbers, like 1221. Like if you see a bunch of mirror numbers like 838, right? You know what I mean? Like where it's the same backwards and forwards.
Yeah.
It's telling that you're balanced.
You
know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. And then like each and every single number, you can break it down like ones and even numbers tend to be more self-related, while even numbers tend to be more communal related. Right.
So the odd numbers are you.
Did you grow up seeing a number like that you would always see?
Yeah,
10.
that's interesting. 10.
What does that mean?
10. That's a 1 going full circle. Yeah.
So that's that.
So what is that? I have one too, but I want to flush yours out.
My favorite
Like,
number's
what
always
is-
been 10. I don't know.
So like,
it
what
was.
is that? Like, so 1 going full circle means like
Right. So like, okay. So like here. So with the angel numbers, right? Because there's so many different things that you could read out of it. Like they're symbols, right? Like a 1, it could mean something totally different to everybody, right? So like in my case, what I would do is like if I'm seeing a 10 and I'm wanting to know like the symbolism, I'll just be like, hey, Google, like, angel number 10. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then, like, so, like,
let's see.
angel number 10. And then it'll tell you.
The angel number 10 means that you have completed a cycle in your life and that a new chapter
That's what you
is about
said.
to begin. This
You said
double-digit
circle.
number shows
One
up as
full
a sign
circle.
from your
And
guardian
that kind of
angel.
explains
It
you a
lets you know
lot
that
because
It
you
does.
like you do kind of cycle.
It's also interesting because 314, you
I have
touched on
one
the,
too.
You touched on the 314 there, too.
Yeah, and I
have one too. This
Yeah.
I've always seen everywhere.
What is it?
Yeah.
311,
Oh, that's a cool one.
311.
I
Yeah.
love
see
them.
it everywhere.
That's a great
Amber is the
band.
color of your
Yeah,
energy.
no, everyone always ties it to that. But also, this is gonna sound weird. I don't want to take it weird,
No,
but
you're
also it's KKK
Oh, wow.
because the 11th number in the alphabet 3 times.
Wow.
Wait, what is the number again?
311.
311.
So A B C D E F G H I J K 3 times.
And what's interesting too is that right there triggers a whole bunch of people to feel, oh shit, because of their association with the symbolism of letter K
Exactly.
and the way that it's presented right
But
there.
then
Right.
also, like, from
so
my
if somebody else was from another perspective where they had no idea what this is and they hear KKK, they're like,
Yeah.
oh, what? I
So
don't
from
know,
my
you know?
perspective,
Right.
that's the only thing I've ever heard tied to it. So when
Yeah.
I see it, I take it as a negative
Yeah.
connotation.
Right.
Where realistically, I may not know the true definition.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what
I mean,
is the
that's true.
angel? What is the? Let's see that one.
311?
Yeah, you want to see?
Because well, it's
Yeah,
haunting me.
definitely.
You,
Do
I
it.
want.
Yeah.
Like, well, let's see.
Angel number 311.
According to Cosmopolitan, angel number 311 is connected to the planets Jupiter and Mercury. Mercury is the planet of communication and compassion, while Jupiter governs wisdom, telepathy, and spiritual union. If you're a twin flame, seeing this angel number is a positive omen. It could represent travel in your twin flame dynamic.
Boom. Dude, this man's been married since he was a fucking wee boy.
That's crazy.
Bro, that's
That is-
crazy.
no, that is crazy. The numbers you see, like you straight up
Yeah.
hit that, and then we like
No,
had
it's
a
crazy
realization.
that you have
Yeah.
a fucking number that you just know you've seen.
And you too, though.
But I didn't even realize it
But
until you
until
guys
I
said
asked,
it.
I was just like, "Do you have a number?" Because
Okay,
I
so
mean, I only
you
thought of
guys
it
are-
because you said that.
You guys are bringing up something that I need to reel it back real quick.
Yeah,
to
reel it
touch
back. We'll
on.
bring it back. I know where we're at, so I'll
right,
bring us back.
So, and just before I met, like, so let's go back to the time period where I'm like Paul's caregiver, right? And I'm like creating a whole bunch of music and like I'm doing shows and like all this
Yeah,
stuff and
yeah,
all
yeah,
that
yeah.
stuff, right? Let's see. And
Now, where is this? Is this in Washington?
that's in Bremerton.
Okay,
yeah, in
okay, okay. So
Seattle.
you're doing
Yeah,
shows, you're
Seattle,
doing, okay.
Bremerton. Yeah, so that's where I start noticing numbers, right there.
When you're doing stuff,
Yeah, and
people
me
are.
and Paul, we were both Christians. Like we were both raised Christian. Like we saw eye to eye on pretty much anything spiritually. But like we love talking about everything spiritual. You know, yeah, together. And like one of the things we noticed together, like, and I always thought was interesting, was that the Bible has verses called or books called numbers. Like, why does it have books called numbers if numbers aren't significant?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then like, why do they have numbers in between all the sections if numbers aren't significant? You know, like, and so like that's when I really started to dive into
That
numbers.
numerology
Yeah.
and- yeah.
That's also when I started to like look at conspiracy theories and just like start looking at bigger picture. Like, whoa, what's going on? In
Kind
the
of
world?
opening
It's
your
kinda
mind
weird.
up to just
Yeah.
what could be.
Yeah, for sure. And then so like when I went into that relationship and I like gave myself away and I wasn't like being myself anymore, I also stopped kind of like looking for the numbers. I stopped like all of that shit. Like I was like, whatever. Like, you know, I'm here. This is what I'm in right now. You know what I mean? And I was like fully in it without any sort of like numerology, any of the things that I truly enjoy. Like those, I enjoy them, and that's why I did them. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so like when I got through the divorce and everything, it was also me coming back into like all that type of stuff too, which was really cool. You know, like, and the ways that all the different synchronicities and everything and alignments that I've seen happening since then through those. So it's like, it's really cool. Like numbers and everything. I will nerd out on numbers like so much. Like it's also one of the reasons why Tech 9 has always been like one of my fave rappers ever. Not just because he's amazing and raps fucking fast as shit, but he's also very symbolic.
Yeah,
And,
very
like,
symbolic.
Tech 9. Okay, so do you know what 9 also means? 9 means no in German, right?
Yeah.
So techno. Oh shit, that's a whole fucking genre, and he
Yeah.
does a whole bunch of work with that genre. He did, you know. So like that's where I was like, oh, that's clever, that's cool, you know. Like I love those types of things, like with numbers, where you can literally put a metaphor in front of someone's face, and they like can only read it if they know. You know what I mean?
Tell me about the 555.
The 555 is like a great change. 5 is the number of change, right? It's also grace, yeah. But like change and transformation, like 3 5s is a big
So
transformation.
when did you get it? When did you
I got
decide?
this after the TikTok stuff. So let's get back to the story. That's where we're.
Hold on, we should actually take a break. You guys
Yeah?
want to take a break and go burn a J real quick?
Fuck yeah.
Okay, well let's do that. Can
Fuck
we do that,
yeah.
Brandon?
Hell yeah.
Okay, cool.
Hell
Let's take a break.
yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
you
bro.
guys stick with us because
Oh.
man, we got the second half of the
Yeah.
story is
Make
gonna
it
be
quick.
popping. It's gonna be popping. So
So people get all tripped up, right, about the angel numbers and things like that, right? Here's what it actually is, right? And this is my take on it based off all the books that I've read over, you know, like after coming out of that and everything. The angel numbers and things like that are your subconscious mind trying to get a hold of you and get your attention. And where is your subconscious mind located? It's located inside your body. Like your body is your subconscious mind. Like this right here, like me touching this right here is like triggering memories and things like that. They store memories and things like that, you know? Like,
For real?
yeah, bro. So like, yeah, so like angel numbers are your subconscious trying to get your attention about things. So like if you're thinking about something, right, and then all of a sudden you start seeing angel numbers, like what were you thinking about, right? Like then you can have like you can start to be like
Tie things together.
exactly, yeah, and it's actually you're communicating with yourself. It's not something weird like mumbo juju, like outside of yourself. You're actually more inward, and you're starting to realize how to communicate with yourself. You know what I mean? At a
Yeah.
deeper level.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
right? Exactly.
So Cody's was 311. Brennan's was 911.
Yeah, 9/11.
9 is completion, and 11 is like the master number for vision. Yeah.
Dude, this man is a vision master, dude.
Well, I am. So my numerology life path number is 11.
Oh wow.
really?
The visionary, yeah.
So that's the visionary part of it. That's
yeah.
sick.
Yeah.
So, okay, so when we picked
You know,
up...
wait, you know who else is a visionary?
Who?
Tony Robbins.
Oh, well,
Yeah, right?
of course.
Yeah, so wait, where'd we go?
Well, you put your butt in a seat, and then you had an idea. You're moving to California, and
Yeah.
you started seeing angel numbers, and then
Yeah.
headed towards your
One brewski?
Yes, sir. How'd you know?
It was empty.
Okay, so I'm heading back from that prayer session, right? After sitting my butt in that seat and getting that message, right?
That's right, because you sat down and you
And
let
boom.
God write.
Yeah, that was on 2/22/22.
You're seeing the
Dude,
angel
the man
numbers.
has
Holy
the
shit! So
motherfucking-
we heard him say angel numbers as he was driving, and then from then we were on angel numbers for that whole time.
Holy shit.
So now back to when you were driving. So then it was like right then, boom. Right?
Let's see. Yeah, so I'm driving, right? Exactly. Yeah, right back there. Right after the prayer, right? You know, like I'm driving, I'm seeing all those angel numbers and everything. And I also passed a fucking camper van, and it's a pack light camper. I was like, oh shit, I'm supposed to pack light and go fucking now. Whoa, bro. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God. So like I get home and you know, I told the universe, whatever. I said, you know, I'm going to do it if you tell me, right? You know, so I was just sitting with it the whole time like, oh, shit, I got to do this, you know, like.
So
oh,
you're in
shit.
Washington, you're in Western Washington.
Yeah.
And then you're
I have
going to
two
make a
kids, they're in
decision
school,
to
you know,
fucking
like-
go to California.
Yeah, because of an answered prayer.
Because of a calling
Yeah. So
in your
now what?
soul.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
so
so now
fucking God damn it. Did
Yeah.
you pack your car right then?
Dude, we packed. Okay, so I packed light, bro. I went and I picked up the kids and I started talking to them like, yo guys, what if we like went to California and just, you know, like we can do some road schooling and stuff like that, and like it could be really fun. And you know, like at the time, like, you know, we'd been through a lot of shit. Me and the kids, like together, our vision and what we wanted to do was get like a van or a bus or something, you know, like, and live the van life, bus life type of thing, and start like doing social media stuff. Like that's what me and the kids wanted to do, you know,
Yeah.
like, and so I'm like, you know, why don't we just go to California and like we'll just check it out, you know,
Yeah.
like see what happens, you know, like, and also I'm also very like I'm talkative about things with them, so I told them about my prayer and everything like that, you know, like, hey, you know, like, and I feel like this is like, you know, could be a great thing for us.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, dude, let's go to the fucking beach. Like immediately they're like, fuck yeah, dude, you know, like, yeah, dad, let's go. Yeah. So like they packed their stuff up, you know, like, and also at the same time too, like, I don't know, the COVID stuff was happening, like, and
So
there's
this
all the
was
conspiracy
2021
theory
or-
stuff, 2020-ish, you know, like, yeah, 2021, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And like, you know, like there was like starting to be shots pushed on people, and like I hadn't had any time to like research nothing really. I'd been like, my life had just kind of come crashing down. I was like, I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I just know that I don't want like things forced on my kids and stuff like that. So that was also a contributing factor. I'm like, okay, we can remove them from that situation too as well, you know, like by this answered prayer. So like, hey, that's pretty fucking cool and makes me feel like a good dad for that too, you know? Yeah. And then like, so we hit the road, we go to California and we get there and like, well, actually like along the journey, right? Like every time we ran out of gas, I'm like, okay, now what do we do? Because we had $21 and half a tank of gas. That's the other thing too. That I was like,
When you left.
yeah, I had $21 and half a tank of gas. And I was like, I didn't know what I was going to do. I just knew that I had to go, you know, like, yeah. So we did. And every time we ran out of gas, that's when something weird would happen. Weird, you know, like, or really cool and trippy and stuff. Like one of the times we were running out of gas and I was like, okay, what are we going to do? So like, I'm praying. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this same type of prayer deal again, like I did last time, because that gave me a good answer real fast. So I was like, okay, Spirit, you know, like, universe, tell me how am I getting my tank filled? You know, like, and immediately it just like popped in my head, like, go to the next gas station. There's going to be a guy there. You're going to ask him to fill your tank. He's going to be just standing there. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Let's see, you know, like, and I pull off. There's a fucking dude. It's like the middle of nowhere. And fucking dude just sitting there at the pump, his fucking door wide open. He's just standing right in front of his car, just standing there. And I'm like, oh shit. Like, it's legit, like exactly what was just told to me.
Now I just have to ask him.
And so like I got out and I asked him, right? And I'm thinking, yes, this is going to be it, you know, like, and he's like, huh? Do you know where you are right now? And I'm like, okay. So I just like, I'm not clinging to anything. I'm like, whatever, fuck it. Okay. So like, and I go and I sit down in the car immediately when my butt hits the seat again and like the door slams shut, the dude slaps a 20 on my window. And I was like, oh, what? And then he sees the kids in the car and he's like, yo, here's another 20 actually. Yeah. And like, it was like event like that after event like that happened to end up getting us there. Like I hadn't even told any of my family or anything like that either too, that we left. Cause like, you know, I knew they would just be like,
Trying to talk you out of
yeah,
it.
hell no, what? Like, and at the same time, like, I knew, like, this
You
is
felt
how,
called.
Yeah, dude, like, this is my spirit. Like, I know, like, this is my subconscious. It's telling me there's a better way. Like, let's go, you know? Yeah, and so, yeah, and then another one of the times, this is where TikTok comes in. Another one of the times, I'm running out of gas, sitting there, like, at a gas station, like, okay, what are we gonna do, you know? And then I'm, like, kind of bored, because I've been, like, stressing about it a little bit, you know, like, and trying to let go of stressing about it, you know, like.
Are you actually out of gas? Or are you just so low that you
dude,
pulled in?
It was like, yeah, like I had to stay parked there at that gas station.
Exactly. Yes.
Or
okay.
I could not go anywhere else.
Yep.
Yeah. And like I hop on my phone and I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna check my TikTok because I'm just bored and I'm fucking done right now. And like the second I gave up and checked TikTok, oh shit, like I log in and as I'm logging in, a video starts going kind of viral and I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
So this is
like the
video
first day of me being on the road.
So
dude.
this is a video that you just had posted.
Yeah,
on
it was
the road.
I had 2 weeks old. Hadn't even touched my TikTok.
But
you posted your first video?
No, I had 700 followers for 2 years.
Yeah.
I hadn't posted in 2 weeks.
And this was an old
and then,
post.
Yeah, old post. I hadn't been doing nothing with it. I was like,
Weird.
fuck, yeah. And then like, yeah, and then
you log in.
I log in, and immediately as I'm logging in, the fucking post starts going viral, and I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like, this is trippy, bro. Yeah, and like, so then, like, as the journey progresses,
viral?
Like, it wasn't crazy.
But
it was
getting
crazy for me though. Like,
yeah.
It
And
was
did
like
that-
10,000 views, and I'd been stuck at like, I don't know, 200 for 2 years or some
Yeah.
shit, you know, like, and I hadn't even touched it in 2 weeks, you know, like, so
Yeah.
I was like, dude.
So what did it tell you
Whoa.
right then? Yeah. Like
Yeah,
what-
well, then I'm just like, okay, I trust myself
So
a
you're
lot
kind of
more.
going
I trust
off this momentum.
Okay.
This momentum
You know,
is
yeah.
happening.
The,
you got this 40.
The information that is coming is, it's panning out. It's paying up. You know what I mean?
Now, the thing I want to touch on real quick, because we will continue this
Yeah.
journey, is that one of the most valuable things is that mindset, because not everybody's going to look at the same thing with these optimistic angel
Yeah.
numbers and
You're
noticing things that are keeping you, that you're seeing things that you are articulating as signs. These are signs where people are just like, man, this is some bullshit. I'm just
no,
like,
it's
fuck.
your own subconscious, really.
But you're
Speaking the
truly
language of
following
symbolism.
what
Right, yeah,
feels right.
Yeah.
And this shit just starts happening.
Yeah, and it's not even like what feels right. It's like what is aligned. It's like you can tell if it is or if it isn't, right? I guess through the feeling.
Not everybody
The feeling
can.
is the vessel
Yeah.
that tells you whether you're in alignment or not, right?
Sometimes
You're
you're
either
just
getting
like a
pain or
blind
you're
guy
getting
out here
pleasure
just
from
kind of
things, right? And those are the two things
feeling
we
it.
go for.
Yeah, and whatever kind of just guides you.
Yeah.
You know, what feels like, and it sounds to me like this is something that came to you and something that was calling you, something that was kind of bringing you into its orbit. Like, this is where you need to go.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you're like, well, I don't know what's going to happen. And I mean, call it God, call it the universe,
Right.
call it karma, call it whatever it is.
Me,
you get a couple
us, we.
20s,
Yeah.
you log on to TikTok and shit's popping.
Yeah.
And you're more optimistic than ever. Sitting on the road, just was out of gas 20
Right,
minutes ago.
exactly.
Did you threw the 40 in the tank, or were you like, fuck it, it's coming to me?
I threw 20 in the tank, got us to where we were going, got 20 for food, like
Yeah, it's sick.
I always balanced it out, you know what I mean? Like, cause there's, as a dad, there's priorities, like, and I'm not, I may be like, to some people they're like, oh shit, he'll just up and fucking run, like he's crazy, bro, like, but no, like I do, like, I'm very mindful of what I'm responsible for, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm also like very aware of everything that's going on, like, and I'm very tuned in, and I know it, like, and I trust myself and my ability to see, like, which path is going to bring pain or pleasure or like whatever, like for my family and everything, right? Like, and
Well,
so,
continues on the journey. So you check TikTok, you freaking got the money, you put the money, you got some food. Where are
so
we at, man?
That leads, like, so we end up staying in Cali for like 2 weeks. At that point, like when we first hit the road, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna commit for sure to 3 days, and we'll just see what happens, And like, so we went for 3 days, and I was like, how do you guys feel? And they're like, this is great. Like, we've been visiting beaches, like we've been just like, it's literally been like this homeschool field trip for all of us, where we're like connecting. Like, I'm diving deep into my trauma type of
like,
stuff, like
staying in the car for the week.
No, I mean, like we're living in the car, bro. Yeah, for sure. And that was fucking weird for sure.
What kind of car?
And hard as fuck. A Prius, bro.
Really?
Yeah.
Folding the seats down, or just kind of like
no, like
just making do with your seat?
There's 3 of us, so like we kind of had to
made it work.
And like to be able to have the supplies for 3 people plus, like you kind of. You can't put the seats down and stuff like that, like, whereas like a singular traveler could like easily convert a Prius.
They are. For one person, it would work. Yeah.
It's
So
hella
go
comfy
ahead.
for one person.
Yeah,
Right?
that's cool. I
but
just
even
wanted
still,
to see how
then
it
you had
looked.
that back bench, and then you have like a
Damn!
front
Now I know why
seat.
you. Now I know why you put 20 in the tank, because the Prius was like, you were getting.
Dude, I was getting there, bro. Yeah.
Oh, the
that
Prius
was
will
almost a
get
full
you.
tank, bro.
True.
Right. That was almost a full tank.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
He's being
So are
serious.
you're on TikTok during this journey?
Yeah,
Are
yeah.
you posting?
Yeah, then I
things?
start posting. I'm like, okay,
So this is
the
like,
universe
as soon
is
as you
leading me.
see the fucking TikTok kind of pop in, that gives
Yeah.
you a burning motivation to say,
I'm like, okay,
"Bitch,
this is the
I'm on a-
direction. This is
Yeah.
the pleasure. This is where I'm feeling called to. Like, like
Okay.
this is what's feeling aligned for my highest life. Like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna go this way instead of like the old ways.
No,
Like,
yeah, you're
yeah. So like,
So you start posting your journey. Your journey is like,
yeah. So, well, really, I start duetting videos. I was still kind of like really, I was having a hard time like opening up like this conversation right here, like talking like this with people, like was not an option at the moment, like mindset wise.
wow.
Dude, it was like that. That's how like I was very like. I was like this straight up like hermit. Felt like I felt like I couldn't be around people or resonate with people anymore and things like that. Like
Wow.
it was crazy. Like yeah, and so like as I've gone through the journey and everything, it's been in this opening up of me like being able to like communicate again. Who I am, what do I need, like and what does my environment need to thrive, and like what does my family and my community need to be able, all that, but. Yeah, so let's see, where were we at, story wise?
TikTok and the type
So
of
I'm doing the
videos you're
duets,
posting.
right? And like we end up traveling all the way across the southern states. We end up leaving Cali after like 2 weeks. We'd been there for 2 weeks. We're like, we're gonna keep going, right? And like, so we go across all the southern states. We're like, we're gonna check out, I don't know, Texas. Like we're checking them all out. We check out Sedona, like that was one of the big ones we wanted to go to because of all the vortexes and all the cool rocks and like hiking and stuff. And like that's a thing that me and my kids love to do together is hike, And so we went and we went hiking in Sedona and like checked out vortexes together and all this really cool stuff. And like it didn't feel like this homeless situation. It felt like this super amazing like homeschooling journey type of thing for all of us. Like I was learning too. Like just different shit, not like the same shit like in school and everything.
No, of course, because you're out there.
Much better shit, honestly.
This is hands on.
Yeah. This
mean,
is
you're
life,
in the
flow,
Prius.
energy, movement,
Just
like
traveling.
alignment, highest lifetime manifestation.
So you're just kind of you're doing these duets. When did you didn't you?
So then I start diving into the talking after we'd gone all the way through the southern states to the southernmost tip of Florida.
Holy shit.
We got to it was
Key West or no?
Yeah. The southernmost point. Like we got a picture of the little thing.
Oh,
whatever.
that little deal at the
Yeah,
southern
little
tip.
buoy
Yeah. I've been there.
It's
Yes.
literally like the most southern point in the United
Yes.
States. So
Little
we went all the
buoy.
way over
Yep.
there. Yeah. And then we came back and we were like, where do we like the best? And they were like, we love Sedona. And I'm like, I love Sedona. Like we ended up going to Sedona. And we end up getting place in Cottonwood for like a few months.
So how are you paying for all this shit? Like how are you funding your journey all the way from Sedona to the tip of Florida back to Sedona?
A lot of it. So first off, when I got to California, the first thing was I'm hungry and I haven't told my parents, haven't told no family, nothing. I want to do. And I'm hungry, and my kids are hungry. What are we gonna do? So this was another one of those prey situations. The second we got to California, and I was like, okay, what are we gonna do? And immediately the wind starts blowing, and I'm like, okay, let's see where the wind's going, because that was a heavy gust. And I start driving, following the wind. It leads me to this freaking parking lot. It's a pay parking lot. I have no money, and I'm like, okay. I asked the attendant, yo, can I turn around real quick? And I do. And then these two bikes, what's it called? The e-bikes and shit that you can that have the app and stuff,
Yeah.
Yeah, two of those drive by and they have this DoorDash little sign on the basket. And I was like, oh, what? Maybe I could log into DoorDash right now and maybe that shit would work right now. And then because I had an account from years prior and I hadn't really touched it. And so then then I started DoorDashing, and that's what actually paid for the whole entire southern USA
Excursion
trip and everything
is you
that.
log into each
Yeah.
city.
Once I finally ended up telling family, I can't remember exactly what it was. We were in Sedona or something like that, and I was finally kind of letting family know hey, we're not even in your state anymore. Yeah, and then
And they're probably very surprised.
yeah, for sure, yeah, and and then they kind of start helping out a little bit here and there. And I'm mostly trying to do Instacart and DoorDash, which is definitely hard with kids. You know what I mean? But that was kind of that was very helpful along the journey for
That's
sure.
awesome, man.
Yeah.
So then you're in Florida. You got southernmost point. You're going back to Sedona.
Well, let's say in Florida, that's I had gotten up to 4,000 followers on TikTok by the time I hit Florida.
So were you
It was
documenting
Yeah,
your
I
journey?
screenshotted the along the and documenting. I have tons of pictures from all.
But I mean, is that what you were
everything,
putting on TikTok? Were you kind of
Kind of a little bit. I was also having trouble with it though, because I felt I couldn't share those parts of myself. It felt like it was bad or shameful.
You didn't want to get shamed.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And that's another thing and another part of the process of this journey that I've been on and coming to this mindset is untangling that mess and then saying okay, what's actually working for me? What's not? Okay, regroup here, boom, boom, boom. Okay, now my shit is locked in and aligned and ready to go,
Holy shit. And then you start you start doing things that are aligned in what you feel.
Yeah, because then the biggest thing that's really holding a lot of people back is that they're not allowing their traumas, they're not going and looking at them, facing them and shit like that. And what happens is you get frozen at every single one of those somewhere in your body. That's the thing that I really started to notice through yoga. It was really weird because this is kind of a tangent, but if you're doing a pose and stuff, weird different poses can affect different people in different ways. So you could have you could be doing downward dog and then all of a sudden tears just start pouring out of your body because that pose triggered a trauma that was like locked into some muscle somewhere that had been frozen for like so long to come out. You know what I mean?
Holy shit.
Yeah, and so like I was doing all that, like allowing that stuff to come out, like moving through that, like going back and like facing every single thing and like analyzing with my anal eyes, like yeah. All the shit from my past. You know?
That's cool.
All the shit.
So you got to really process a lot of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And let go of it.
Yeah, and you know what? My philosophy behind just going is that, like, if you're stuck in this traumatic area, think about it like in your brain, right? You take the same pathways all the time, right?
Yep.
Like, how are you going to break that up on the outside world so that way it starts to, like, affect your inner world in a good way, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, if you're removing yourself from any situation like that, and then you're putting new pathways in front of your brain always to look at, then you're constantly getting these new inspirations and new perspectives on these old things that were really affecting you.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Dude, that honestly just connected in a crazy way, because that's so true. Is that we, especially somebody, because I can relate to this more than anybody. I'm sitting at home, I'm working from home, I got these passions, but it's like I don't get to shake it up a lot, and I need to be throwing myself into the fire more often.
See, when you throw yourself into the fire, it burns away what is not you.
Yeah, those parts that
Exactly.
it continuously
And so-
keeps you trimmed,
Right, and so
right
those
to
parts,
who you
though,
are.
they all they try to latch on, hey, just keep me, don't
No,
let
you're
me
right.
go, right? Yeah, they're all they're trying to pull too, right? Yeah, and so when you're shifting your focus and aligning your intentions on living your highest life as compared to this lowest shitty,
Because that's what we want. We want to be
disaster.
living our highest life.
Right.
That's almost it.
Yeah.
I honestly thought before it was all I want to do is be satisfied. I want to be happy. But really, I want to be living my highest life.
Right.
Which is where I feel motivated and inspired and fulfilled and excited
Yeah.
about tomorrow and
Yeah.
today and that's
Right
it.
now.
Right now.
Right
I'm
now.
excited.
The way
Yeah.
I love to say it is it's an ever expanding present moment. There is no future. There is no past. It's now. It's just the expanded version of now. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Just now that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah,
Is the
exactly. And so
future.
we'll expand into that later, right?
Yeah, eventually. And
Yeah.
that's where, dude, you put things in a way that I don't know if it's just me, but I really it makes sense to me when you say it. So that's really cool how you end up doing this whole thing. So you're a self-sufficient motherfucker, dude. So you start door dashing and shit. But okay, so you guys get back to Sedona. So you trip from Florida. You're fucking your kids
so then
are we love
okay.
Sedona.
Yeah. So we're in Sedona, right? And Sedona's dope for if you're living in your car, you're living in your
So wait, is that northern,
van,
southern?
RV.
Where is that?
So it's kind of middle,
Oh, okay.
middle
So
Arizona.
Is it desert? Is it?
It
It's
is
the
desert,
one-
but it's a little bit higher than Phoenix, so it's not so
Super cool.
hot. It
I
is.
drove through
It's
it. And it's
amazing.
fucking. It's like
gorgeous.
where movies are made.
Dude, yeah,
You
exactly.
know what I mean?
Dude, when I drove in there, I was having an
Red
out
Rock.
of body fucking experience just driving in there. Whoa, dude.
Yes.
That's and when my kids and I went there the first time and we experienced a vortex for the first time, I was so they have female vortexes that are more calming and pull energy, so you're more restful, or they have masculine vortexes where the energy's coming out really fast.
So wait, what are you
Right.
talking about? Vortex,
It's vortex. It's parts of the earth that have energetic fields flowing through them, right?
Sedona
Yeah.
happens to
So-
be one.
Huh?
Sedona happens to
Exactly.
be
It
one.
happens to have a lot of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you can go and hike to these spots, right? And energetically, it will do things to your body, tune your body up.
Kind of
it
like
can- it
where the
can make you
pyramids are placed.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Sedona just happens to be in a place.
That's why they're placed so specifically is because of
Exactly.
the energy and everything, right?
That's right,
Yeah, and so
Holy shit.
so we went and we had these hikes, right? And we experienced these vortexes and everything like that. Like the masculine vortex, we went and we did a hike, and I had the energy to make 30 TikToks in a row, just boom, and I was there was no fear, nothing. It was just whoa, and
you
so
just felt it winning.
yeah, dude. And I was dude, this is sick. And then we went to the female vortex and I made 3. And I was super chill. And I ended up going live. And I was a bunch of people came on, like, and I was like, dude, this is time. It's like it'll completely change you, like where you are. Yeah, it's like this place is a cup of coffee and this place is a joint. You know what I mean?
That's cool, man.
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
cool. Sedona, I gotta fucking
Yeah.
go there, dude.
Yeah. So we come back to Sedona because of those vortex experiences, right? And then we start tapping in with the community. It's really cool there. Like they have this in Cottonwood, they had this place there. They had like these buses out in the back that have like they're all like decked out inside with like artwork everywhere and like like pillow chairs everywhere and all this chill spots and like it's at this restaurant. It's like a venue kind of deal, venue restaurant like chill spot, and all the local like spiritual hippies and everybody like musicians and artists and everybody just like flocks around these spots, right? And so like me and my kids like started like to frequent these areas and like make connections and stuff like that. We like our first we got invited to like this this show that was out at this farm, and it was like all like super vegan organic foods and stuff that were being like served up by the community, and it was like this whole just communal vibe. Everyone was like so like supportive and uplifting of each other and of each other's expressions, and like everyone was dancing fucking everywhere and all this shit.
Dude, that's
like,
awesome.
like yeah, and I was like, dude, this is cool. Like this is tight. Like, and so I start tapping in with the community, and then the next thing I know, I'm like doing like open mics and stuff, like singing and stuff, and like this dude was just like playing jazz guitar. And I was like, okay, like I'm hearing words right now. Like I kind of feel like I could like channel through like an entire song right now. Like, and so like one night we're like at a different show, and like it's open mic, and the dude's playing the jazz guitar, and I'm like, he comes off after his little open mic set, and I'm like, yo, dude, I'm up after the next guy. Can you like come up with me, and then you just play whatever the fuck you want to, and then I'm just gonna like sing. And he was like, yeah, dude, that's tight. So like, so he did that. He came up on stage, and I'm up there, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna say. I just like shut my eyes, and like the next thing I know, I channeled through an entire song, like, and it sounded like a legit song. I was like, dude, this is dope, bro. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, the more I was letting go, the more I was able to like kind of like tune in to like my freestyle or improv or channeled abilities or whatever you want to say. Yeah, yeah, and
Wow.
yeah, and so. Then a bunch of my friends there like are doing microdosing and things like that to rewire their brains and things like that. Like I have like some really cool like therapists and like spiritual like healers and practitioners and stuff like that around that area that like they do all sorts of different things with like plant medicines and stuff like that to rewire their brain chemistry and like move through traumas and then install new mindsets and things like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like I really started dialing in with the teachers in the area, which, as you can imagine, there is like a lot of them in that community because it's like basically like a tourist spot, where everybody comes through to have a spiritual experience.
Oh, okay. I
so
see.
all these people that live there are like, very tuned in, like spiritually and things like that. And, it was really cool
Wow.
for me. Yeah. It's like,
So Sedona's full of people coming through to have that experience.
yeah, for sure.
I didn't
A
realize
lot
that.
of it. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. And,
Very nice.
so I channeled through that entire song, and then I'm like, yo, you want to play another one? And like he did another one, and like we got like a couple snippets actually of that. Hold on, maybe I should tag you.
Or you can just send it to Brennan and he can pull it up.
Yo.
Yeah.
That's you singing?
Yeah.
This is just some guy in the back just playing.
Where do we go from here? It's sick though, right?
That is it.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So then I start doing
Especially to just be channeling through your
Yeah.
freaking.
Well, that's like been kind of like the thing. Like when I hit the road, like just before hitting the road, like my whole deal was like I was actually letting go of the pen in my songwriting. Like that was another kind of key factor, like that had just been implemented before like the 3.5 albums that came out and everything. So yeah, so like fuck, brain fart. where was I at just now?
I mean, you were just telling us about the jazz bar, the jazzy fucking dude who was fucking playing a couple fucking songs for you, dude.
Right. Okay.
And
so,
I mean, he was up there shredding up, dude,
Yeah.
and you were up there
Yeah,
just
yeah.
singing, letting the Lord fucking put the lyrics out there, dude, through
Yeah.
your body.
so then I kind of start doing this regularly, and
So you've tapped in with the community. You're showing up to open mics.
yeah,
You're hanging
I was
out.
going back. That's why I brain farted. It was like, so like, my whole thing is like, I want to let go of the pen. So like when I make the reason I make these songs so fast, like, I don't know if you've ever noticed that, like,
Yeah.
I make songs hella fast. It's, I just like, it gets tapped in, but like, I let go of the pen and it allows it to kind of come out. And I started with those first 3.5 albums going like line by line, basically. You know what I mean? Like I'd listen and then I'd sing one line, and then if more came out, I would sing more, and then I would stop, and then I would play it back, and then I would start from that point and sing more. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. And so like this was like my next step in that, right?
Yeah.
To where I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go up and like sing a whole entire song.
Or you
right?
totally let go.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And so like my
There's
whole
no picking up here.
yeah, the whole Sedona experience was that. I started dialing into that. I started doing that at open mics like often.
But
like,
even outside of open mics, just you in general.
right. But then I
We're
also
letting go.
yeah, for sure. Everything. It's all connected.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah. So then I start channeling live while a DJ's playing in the background and stuff too, and like get tapped in with like a venue, and like at this time I'm like also starting to dial in like inner child, like starting to have memories come back like that I didn't have before, like my first teddy bear that I created when I was 2 with my hand stitching, and it was like yellow, blue, and red. And like something triggered it for me to start remembering it, and then realize, oh, maybe I want to start sewing now too. And that's actually what started me into like making clothes and stuff right there.
Jesus.
I
That's
started to
sick.
realize like, oh, dude, these are the things that I've always loved to do these things. I still love to do these things, so I started like trying all those things out. And then like I'm like, I'm trying things out and I'm just allowing and letting go, and like I'm thinking, man, this would be cool, like if I could like make a bunch of linen stuff, because I was dialing into like healing frequencies of fabric and stuff like that also, because like that's another one of those things that I've done to like support my inner self and everything, is like the studies of fabrics, like scientifically and everything, and how they can help you or hurt you.
Wow.
Like linen right here, for example, is like a super high frequency fabric. It's at like a 5,000.
What's cotton?
Cotton is like normally like 60 to 70.
Polyester.
Polyester's way low.
Of
like
course. That's why
15
everything's
or,
made out
or
of it.
0. Yeah, I know. Yeah, so like
I
so,
know. He's like, tell me about
Cotton's
it.
cool. I'm riding on that cotton,
Are
baby.
you
Yeah.
riding cotton?
Organic
fucking
cotton,
leather.
organic cotton is just about what they say that the human body normally resonates at. So you're not
That's
hurting.
why we love
and
it
you're
so
not, like,
much.
you're not hurting,
way.
but you're not giving it.
Or
anything.
neutral.
Yeah. So like
That's why organic, like when you're wearing a cotton tee, like eventually it feels like you're wearing nothing.
yeah.
That's how I like to be. I like to
it
be
does,
neutral.
kinda.
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, really, because like it like heats up perfectly to your.
Yeah.
Polyester's like not that way. That has to be like an outer tee.
But it
Right.
just
Or
keeps
like
it
an outer-
cold a little bit.
It like
Well,
kind
yeah,
of.
so polyester is plastic, bro. Like,
yeah,
did you know
it
that
does
like
feel plastic.
I think it's the #1 pollutant, bro, is like microfibers of plastic
and that's
from
polyester.
polyester shirts and stuff like that.
Whoa.
How crazy is that, bro?
I'm trying to think of a polyester shirt. Is that
It's-
like a
it's-
Under Armour? Is that
Yeah,
like,
sure.
Like
sure.
one of them
Anything that's
stretchy
plastic.
fuckers,
Well, I mean,
dude?
these though can
No.
be deceiving.
That's polyester
too.
right there. Your bag. Behind you over
There
there.
you go.
This?
No, the bag.
This is polyester.
Yeah.
Yeah.
mhm. That's like the
Yeah.
type of material.
So,
it's
so
made out
what
of.
that resonates?
But
at,
it'll last for a million years.
Die Warkemaken mit den Streifen. Okay, that's what this is, man.
You know.
I don't know what the tag's at.
But you know, like
I believe
the
you.
stuff that'll last
Yeah.
forever.
It puts a strain on your body though if it's
And
a
they
plastic.
got
right?
mixed shirts out of that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
hats and all sorts of stuff. So
Okay,
like
hats make
one of the
sense.
things that I started to like the universe was starting to present to me these different like opportunities to do stuff like this, like making clothing and stuff.
So you're making yourself known in the community.
Yeah, and I
do
started
music.
diving
you're-
into clothing. Yeah,
Okay.
and so this dude from the community ends up like hey, I'd love to like help you and your family out. Like, maybe we can like buy you some clothes or something, like, and some camping gear, and take you to Walmart and all that stuff. Like, so, and that happened through the connection at the venue and all that. Like that, I had started like
just by going in there doing open mics,
exactly,
meeting people,
and also by saying yes to the universe when the universe said, hey, do you want to dabble in clothing and shit like that? Because what I'm about to tell you next, because so. He's like, I'll buy you clothes and stuff for your kids. And I'm like thinking like, I'm diving in. I've been sewing a lot lately. I'm like, yo, how about you buy me like a sewing machine, bro? And like a bunch of linen fabric and stuff so that I can make clothes for me and my kids and all that stuff, like.
Yeah, maybe sell some shit.
Exactly.
And make a little money.
Like start.
Like teach me, like
exactly.
give me the tools to fish.
I want to be a fashion designer. Yeah, yo. And so like, and he's like, okay, that's cool. Like I could do that. And so like, he ends up like buying me like, I don't know, I think it was like $600 worth of linen, like in the yards and everything, like, and a whole bunch of like, like a sewing machine and all the stuff to like do it with.
This guy is a random guy? This is a fucking, this isn't the venue owner?
No,
this
just
is
some random guy who knew someone who worked at the venue or something
and
like that.
just saw you perform and saw your situation?
It was one of the people at the venue, he had been telling them, hey, I want to just help someone. Like, and she was like, hey, how about Lucius and his kids? Like,
wow, that's fucking awesome, dude.
Like when you give, right? When you give to the community, when you joyfully give, right? It joyfully comes back to you.
You get a lot in
right?
return. Absolutely.
No, and to not realize, like, it's like almost, I mean, he's selflessly giving to somebody who isn't just like, yeah, get me a quick little week's worth of something.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, give me the tools to start something that I can self-sustain.
Yeah.
That I can bring in my own money. We can create our own clothes. We can do I can bring my own revenue now.
That's exactly
rather
where
than
I
you
was
just
thinking.
give me money, I'm going to flip this because you got that motivation. And honestly, the thing I feel like that's most powerful about the story so far is like that positive outlook to just see it as light and not see it as darkness.
Yeah, dude. Like even the darkness is light in a way. It's just low light, kind of like, right? It's giving you contrast, right? Like if you look at a fucking picture and like there's not like really bright whites or really dark blacks, then you're not gonna
then
like.
You're seeing light.
It's gonna be like probably a very monotone, kind of boring picture, right? You know what I mean? Like, so it's providing your life with color, all those different experiences, and they're providing negative experiences. Provide your life the contrast for the positive experiences that come from you integrating your lessons that you learn through those.
Zach said that a lot. Like you got to go through the you got to go through the hurt. You got to go through the bad to feel the good.
Yeah,
and that's true. And like when you see something that's where it's not, the difference between pitch black and pure white, like it's low light, but you're still seeing light.
Yeah,
there's still light, and that's
darkness is still light.
Yeah,
and you can make that darkness pitch black if you want. And that's where I think it is the difference. It's all perspective and the willingness to say, hey, where do I want my life to go? I know my life includes light. Like light is what's going to keep me alive. I want to stay.
Well, you're either here living or you're here dying. Like actively.
Because you can be here dying.
You can actively live or you can actively die. You know what I mean? Like, and if you're not actively living, then guess what you're actively doing?
Damn.
You know what I mean?
Damn. For real though. No, for real though.
No, you don't even got it. Like,
because you are either looking at it like, yo, I have an opportunity. I have life. I have health. I'm sexy. I'm moving. I'm group, right? Or you're looking at it like
I'm
the
gonna
cards.
enjoy this.
Yes.
I love this. This
Or
is amazing.
You're looking at it like the cards are stacked against me. The fucking government's taking over. The Illuminati.
The reptilians
There's
are
nothing I
taking
can
my brain
do.
with Elon's fucking chips.
Yeah, you just start making excuses.
I just thought of something. The light is either on or it's off.
True.
And
I
it's
want to
your
keep the
choice.
light on, baby.
You got to choose,
You get to choose.
Yeah.
But I think
But if
first,
it's on,
and
if
either
it's
way-
on, you're living, and
either
if it's
way-
off, you're dying.
Either way, you're providing something valuable to the experience of the room of everyone and their light.
That's
in
why,
terms of ecosystem,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
but that's why
exactly.
this is important, because I feel like it's like almost like being like knowing you're an alcoholic. You know, you got to admit it.
You're like, I've been dying.
It's kind of like, yeah, you got to know that.
You gotta know
shit,
you're dying before
there
you
might
can
be
live.
that's it. Because you might not even know that you're
You've
just
been
like
dead.
Some people are literally in a box that was built for them.
Yeah.
You know?
By
Yeah,
themselves
yeah.
too. Like they
Yeah.
build the box. Like that's the thing. That's the thing. Like you build the box, bro.
Well, it's people's parents'
Like-
job to teach them how to use
yeah, it's
tools.
their job. And
to
then
at
there
least
comes a
open their
point though when
minds.
your spirit like it's gonna take over, and like you can either choose to go with that pathway that you've been installed with, or you can choose to say, I don't fucking like this experience and what it's bringing me, and I'm gonna change it.
So where do you think
Right?
this mindset came from? Do you think what kind of role do you think that your parents held in your ability to think the way you think? Or do you think that it's you? Do you think it's universe, like God? Do you think
I
like
think that like
how much is nurture versus nature type of
I think that like if I didn't have my parents, exactly the way that they were, and if I didn't have like every other relationship in my life exactly the way it was, then I wouldn't be able to be where I am right
Including
now.
meeting Zach at
You
that
know?
exact time.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, and your
Which is, like,
relationship,
crazy.
your divorce,
It's
all
all
the shit.
perfect for me. Like, it's because if it didn't happen, then I wouldn't be able to like be here, like feeling the way I'm feeling, living, not dying. You know, like
Yeah.
and fucking loving every second of it. You know,
That
like
is
Yeah.
crazy.
yeah.
That's awesome, man.
It's
Right?
crazy to think that is the absolute truth. Is like every situation is kind of sort of, you gotta believe it's meant to be, because like it's kind of like it's exactly how you are where you are.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you had to meet. You know, so that's really cool that it came full circle.
Right.
You guys knew each other before there's an internet,
No, way before.
Yeah.
and then you
Way
reconnected
before.
through the internet.
Yeah, we knew each other like when you actually did things with your friends just for fun.
And so it was,
Yeah.
it was
You know,
so
like-
it
You
was
didn't do
that
it-
Yeah.
much by chance.
Yeah,
No,
You know what I
didn't.
mean? Like it has that
The internet
much
brings
chance.
you back together. That's the cool thing.
It
man,
is.
Yeah,
is that
yeah,
it
yeah.
somehow finds a way to reconnect you.
You just
well,
have
I
to.
think it's just the universe in general which provided the internet for us to do
internet's
so.
just a
right?
bridge.
There it
The,
is.
the internet was a
Yes.
tool
It was a-
provided to us by
By the
our
universe.
collective subconscious as a way for us to like have this tool to like move forward with. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
That would be a really good argument for anyone who was like against the internet. It would be
Right.
like, so like, how do you feel about the universe and
Right.
like things happening for a reason? It's like this was given to you.
And
It's
and here's the thing though, like, does it mean that the internet isn't affecting you in a way like polyester is? No, it could be. You know what I mean? But
Yes.
it's like it's not that. I'm just not going to focus on that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use it as a
Well,
tool.
Yeah.
Well, I think that when you
and it is.
you got to live in a way where you do have control. Like
Yeah.
you got to let go of the things that you can't control,
Right.
But then know that you can control your relationship with things. You can
Exactly.
control your mentality, the way you look at things,
the way you feel, bro. You could tap into a different feeling based on like putting your body in a certain position. You know what I mean? If you know, what
I need
you're
to start
doing,
yoga,
right?
honestly, because
Like-
I feel like when I'm like at work, I was like leaving work today and I was like, dude, I'm just like wound up. Like, I'm like, I have this podcast. I'm like excited about it. I can't wait. But then I'm like, I'm feeling all like, I don't want to bring all this extra bullshit
Yeah.
to the podcast that I'm feeling from like this job, like the things that I'm kind of thinking of. And so I think I need a way to process that. I feel like yoga is calling me.
Dude, it's
I feel
pretty
like
cool. I love
like how you
yoga.
were saying.
Yeah,
I feel
for
like
sure.
that would be a cool way to learn some
fucking-
new things about myself.
Yeah.
I've done a little bit.
I've never
It's
done it
fucking
before.
So fucking challenging.
Well,
Perfect.
it can be, right? Like it's all in
I
where
love
like
that part.
who you surround yourself with in that environment is going to like be a determining factor on whether you stay in that environment.
So if
right?
if I want to do yoga, you would recommend I go to a yoga class.
Well, I would recommend that you do what you feel called to do because like everybody's like perspective is different, right? I would say that like my perspective, there's a yoga with Adrian on YouTube. She's got like 10 million followers now. When I first found her, when I first started, it was like she had like 1 million followers or something. She's super cool, down to
Wow.
earth, like just like we're just chilling. She's like funny and like drops like silly jokes and stuff like that too. Like, but at the same time, like she's like encourages you to show up and things like that. So like that was like a really I watched Yoga with Adrian videos every single day for like 2 years straight before I started like doing my own flows.
Oh,
Really.
wow.
Yeah. And like Yeah.
That's cool. I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah, for sure. And like, so yoga with Adrian, hit me up. Yeah. Yeah. If you ever want to do a yoga session, that would be really cool. It would be really fun.
So let's pop back on the trip here,
Yeah, for
because
sure.
I mean, dude, we're
I know, yeah.
we're embarking on some epic adventures
Dude,
here.
that's true.
So you're moving through Sedona. You fucking built these relationships. You got some
Right.
help.
Yeah.
This dude
We're
bought
at
you
Got
some
a sewing
linen.
machine, got the linen right. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, now where the fuck am I gonna make some clothes? You know what I mean?
You're
Yeah.
still at about 4,000 followers on
No.
TikTok.
At this point, I'm actually at like 57,000 followers at this point.
Okay, we can't skip over that. What happened?
When was your
That
bump?
was my time in Sedona, because what we would do is like we would go to camping, right? We camp out and they have the epic spots for camping there. Like you can just drive out there, park, you
Make
can
a
have
bonfire.
You could set up for like 14 days, bro. Like,
Oh, that's
and then
right.
Just leave it and fucking nobody can touch your stuff. Like, well,
Yeah.
they can, but you can leave it for 14
National
days. And nobody
Forest?
can touch your
Is
stuff.
was it like National Forest you're camping
Yeah,
on?
exactly. It's
Exactly.
BLM land.
There it
Yeah,
is,
Exactly.
yes.
Because we were we
Black
were,
Lives Matter?
what?
No, BLM
No,
land is just...
no. It's I know that's what it's. Something land Bureau of Land Management.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah. I was
And
just
it's
joking.
free land to the
It
public.
is free land to the public. Yes.
You
and
got to
can-
move every 14 days.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
And so this is like what van lifers and stuff do. Like these are the things we were tapping into, the
Wow,
tips and
okay.
tricks and everything. Like because we weren't in it to be homeless or nothing like that. We were in it to learn and grow together. And then allow the universe to give us a better life, teach us a better life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, so
yeah.
So through Sedona, I'm pushing myself to at least do one video a day. And that was the time that I grew the most in actually being able to communicate and talk about my experience to the screen. Because before, I was saying, I couldn't even talk to people.
You're just doing yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And Sedona was such a huge opener and expression too. The other really cool thing, if you're ever in Sedona, I think it's every Thursday night or something like that. So right now in Sedona, they are dancing up on Yavapai Vista Point on these red rocks, right in front of Bell Rock. And we used to go there barefoot. We'd kick our shoes off and walk a mile down this trail, me and the kids. And then there's a DJ on this fucking huge rock out in the middle of nowhere, right? And everybody's dancing, bro, and it happens every week, bro. And they got poi spinning stuff. Some people spin fire. There's people dancing all over.
Holy shit.
Sometimes it's DJs, sometimes it's other people. It's really cool.
Holy.
So yeah, so I'm going through all this, and I'm going to the park every single day, and that was our first stop every day, so that the kids can play. I can let go of a little bit, of just dad mode.
How old are you kids at this point?
At that point, 4 and 8.
8. Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're letting go a little bit.
Well, 3 and 7 actually. Yeah.
Oh, 3 and 7. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
completely letting go.
Yeah,
being
and I'm
able to-
doing
and you have-
doing
it's
yoga at the park every day, and I'm doing a video a day on TikTok, and that's where I was growing. I was starting to really get viral videos and things like that. I would do the duets, but I was mixing in the talking videos.
So what really went? What was the turning point when you were kind of at 4,000? You got that one video that popped off before.
Right,
It was
and then
old, and then what?
It was a steady. It was a steady.
Just a little
growth.
here.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
exactly.
It wasn't one thing.
It wasn't just one thing at this point.
Beautiful. So
Yeah.
people kind of just started following along.
Yeah, and at that point, my relationship with TikTok felt really good. With all the people on TikTok, I had not been introduced to the troll hate world a whole lot at all.
I was gonna ask about that.
really it was honestly crazy how
But you
supportive
eventually
it was.
did.
But what it was though, it's because of what we talked about earlier when we were puffing that blunt. It's you tailor when you're mindful of how you're tailoring your feed and everything, then it affects you differently, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
And so when you strayed away from that, you started to see a little bit of negativity.
Well, no. So I had I had something that it was another thing that another learning experience basically. We'll put it like that.
We're curious.
We're gonna get to it. Yeah. So like, so Sedona happens, and like, I'm like, I need a fucking place to make clothes, right? So, we end up going to California, hanging out with grandma while I make like this jacket and like a shirt, like 2 pairs of
These
pants.
like the first things you made?
Yeah, like this jacket is. Yeah.
Sick, dude.
Yeah. Well, here.
Yeah. Show the camera,
You know,
dude. This
yeah.
is sick.
And I also.
Whoa, dude, this is
Bro,
cool.
and let me tell you, I'm
Let me
also
see.
professionally trained with sewing for like car upholstery. Like I went to Wyotech
this
for
is
custom
sick.
cars. So
Holy
like
shit,
I
this
know
is
what the
heavy.
fuck I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like it's lit. It's legit. It's and
This
it's
is
reversible
pretty sick.
too. Flip
Yeah,
it.
no, look at the inside.
Yo, flip it, bro.
Oh,
it's reversible,
shit.
bro.
Why is the inside
Yeah.
so lit right now?
Yeah.
Show the
I
camera.
was just
Show the
feeling
camera.
Yeah.
He was like, I was just feeling the teal.
Yeah, and look at
But
the
look at the inside.
symmetry on all the like thread lines and everything, bro. Yeah, dude.
Oh,
I
you
kill
really
it.
did do that.
Yeah, dude, I did all that.
Look at the way he sewed that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's badass.
So I made I had to make I knew I had to make like a full wardrobe, right? Of clothes. So I made some stuff for my kids too. They weren't really vibing with it so much. But I was vibing with all my outfits. So like we were, so the next thing we did was a trip down the Oregon coast where we took a bunch of pictures in my new outfits and everything like that. And at that point, I was kind of thinking in terms of my brand, like, okay, maybe I'm just going to be like a tailor or something. Custom tailor, right? For like super fucking expensive hire or something like, but at the same time, I'm thinking like, how do I scale that? Like there's no, like, that's not really very scalable. And like, for me, like my whole thing is that I want to be able to do all these things, right? On my own time, right? Like when I feel called to it, right? Like not doing it because someone's pushing me to do it or something, like, because I've found that I naturally like to do things, you know what I mean? And like they will naturally be way cooler if I allow that, right?
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah, you one of them artists is hard to work with. Like, bro, I'm trying to get a jacket. You're like, look, bro, I don't feel
you're
called yet.
When it's time for your jacket to come
exactly. How can you can't scale that? That's what I'm
I got a
saying.
show this weekend. You just like, it ain't
like,
coming this weekend,
the
bro.
jacket I'm making you is not for the show.
Yo,
okay?
see, that's what I'm saying. You can't. I'm not, and that's the thing. Like
That's actually makes it fucking
Yeah.
cooler. You're like, fine, I'll pay you the fucking $5,000.
No.
This is so cool.
Yo, if I put this one up for sale, I'm legit gonna put it at like $111,000 or something.
See, because
Yeah.
it's
Because
it's
here's
one of
the
those,
thing, like,
yeah.
so like I realized, like, yo, I'm also an artist, right? Like, see
Yeah.
all these fucking designs, right? And like I do digital stuff too on the computer and everything too, and I do photography. Like that was another thing that I was
You've
learning.
done some of your own tattoos too,
Yeah,
right?
too, for sure. I did a bunch of my face tattoos, bro.
Okay, we'll get into that, but keep going, keep
Yeah,
going.
for
What's your-
sure. Yeah.
But the
And so
photography.
like I'm like, okay, so this is where I'm starting to realize how can I scale clothing? And this is my solution to that problem is like taking my artwork and like having a line of like t-shirts that's always available, right? Like for my brand, right? So that, and I can use all these designs or whatever as like, the t-shirt designs. And
Yeah.
then that's something that's scalable, right?
Yep.
So like then I start like I start designing things, right? And like and let's see, it's like fashion brand oriented kind of in mind. I hadn't even thought about skateboards really yet, except for this is kind of like right around like where I started to feel into skateboards, so in Venice, right? We get down to we go down up and down the coast after like taking pictures and everything.
Yeah, doing the
Right.
Oregon coast, got down to California.
Yeah, and then we get back there, and we're in LA and Venice, and I'm just driving down Speedway. It's like right next to the boardwalk, basically, in like the chill kind of area, like South Venice area.
Okay.
And like I see this dude who looks like just like Jason Mraz, and I'm like, yo, I love Jason Mraz. He's dope, right? And like this dude like throws up a peace sign at me, like he knows me. And I'm like, that was fucking weird. And like he did it like as I was driving by with the kids and everything, right? And I'm like, so he's like holding the peace sign up after I'm like, I don't know, 200 feet down. And like, so I'm like, okay, reverse, right? And like, and I back it up, right? And I'm like, what's up, dude? And he's like, yo, your energy is fucking amazing, yo. Like, and then he's like, he just like starts talking to me. His name's Zach Love. Like he took us to this Cafe Gratitude and like got us a bunch of food and all this stuff. And then he messaged me after that day and like he's like, hey, so my buddy is friends or my Kim Kardashian gave my buddy like $1 million to start this like youth foundation in LA, right? And like they're doing this huge Christmas giveaway thing. And I think that you and your kids should come and like just receive a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm like, yo, that sounds really cool. Okay. Like, you know, and like, so we go and he like saved me this Element skateboard. He saw it in the back and he was like, Element complete, like so sick, dude. Brand new Element skateboard. He like saved it for me, right? And like, I was not really expecting to get anything from myself, right? Like I was going thinking like we're getting a bunch of like Christmas presents for the kids and stuff, you know, like, and like he hands me this skateboard and he's like, dude, I saved this for you, bro.
Dude, and
like,
how'd that make you feel?
Dude, so good. Oh my God. Like I was like, a skateboard? What? Like I wasn't really planning on skateboarding, but like for me, and then like I was like, yo, that was
like a piece of your soul,
yes,
like
it was
right
like
there.
another part of me coming back, right? Unlock, level up,
it's like a puzzle piece.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
right?
what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, so like,
wow.
I didn't quite make the connection like for a while after that though. Still, that like I should start doing skateboards, and I was still kind of like, you know, it was just kind of like became my little like I started skateboarding again a little bit. You know what I mean?
So because when did you got this? You basically went viral on TikTok.
Yeah. Oh, so when I went really viral, this is after the fact of Sedona, after the 57.
So you're in Cali, right?
Yeah. I mean, so at that point, right, we are starting to kind of feel homeless, bro. It's like been a year and a half or something living in the car with the kids, you know, like.
Holy shit.
Yo, dude. Yeah. Yeah.
That happened quick.
Yeah, dude. So like, I'm just like, I'm kind of, I need something to change, you know, like, and everything. And like,
and you're in Sedona or Cali? You're in Cali.
I'm in Cali at this point.
Yep.
We're in San Diego, kind of just chilling. And I'm like, I realized that I can't really, I've been having a hard time like scaling the things and like getting it off, you know,
Yeah.
like, and I hadn't really like done a whole lot of designs on the t-shirts quite yet.
So what was the biggest hurdle? Was it just money to get started?
Bro, like, yeah, money was, I mean, that's been a big hurdle the whole time, but I would say like, it's not the money that's the hurdle. It's the mindset that's affecting my relationship with the money, right? That was the hurdle. You know what I mean?
In what way?
Like, so my relationship with money was that like, if I had it, I felt like if I had too much of it, I would feel shameful or something like that, right? You know?
Okay, yeah.
Or if I had not enough, then I would also feel shameful, right? Like,
So that relationship with that.
yeah, like, and then and like uncovering like, why is there any shame in this relationship at all? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like, that's been a whole kind of,
God, so how do you go about like letting go of those types of feelings? Is that just a natural, like, how do you shift from this thing controlling you to being able to let it go and liberate yourself and move forward of that weight?
right. So like, if something's controlling you, that means that it's a pathway that's like solidified, right? And you had to like break it, right? So like, if you've become intentionally aware of like making yourself a better person and noticing these things, right, within, then you'll start to notice these things, right? And so like, as you become aware, then you can like address them as they pop up, like so in the middle of it almost, you know, like, so what I like to do is I like to go to this, I'm gonna allow myself to do whatever it does, right? And then I'm gonna be aware of all the things that it does. And then I can keep track of what are the bad things that it's doing that I don't like, that are affecting me negatively, and what are the good things that it's doing that are like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
that's
you're
crazy,
removing
yeah.
yourself from like the one that's doing to the one that's watching
To
the
just
doer,
allow.
right? And then
Wow.
when you're watching the doer, then you can see like what's connected with the negative connections, right? And you can start to break those. You know what I mean? And like the way that you can like break those is like associating them with like immense pain, you know, immediately. And so like you start to like think about like, okay, like
It'll eventually.
when I do this, it does this to me, and fuck, that hurts so bad.
Yeah.
You know what
Even
I mean?
if it's not instant, eventually.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll get me there, so I need to feel that pain now.
Yeah, so you need to, yeah, exactly. If you're thinking about the pain eventually, it's easy to be like, fuck it, whatever.
Yeah.
But if you like take it and like, no, it's giving me pain right now. Like you have to link it to instant pain. You know what I mean?
Then that makes you take action.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I
Have
see.
you done DMT?
No, but like I'm pretty sure I had an experience with it
You've had
created by
some-
myself.
Fuck yeah, you have.
yeah.
Because that's some crazy shit to just like fucking,
Yeah.
you know, and that's totally the type of thing I hear people who have done DMT like somehow
yeah, for
connect
sure.
to.
Yeah.
It's just like they somehow
Yeah.
figure out their pain threshold and like what they love, they go to it.
So
you
my
know?
experience that I'm like kind of referring to, I actually literally just kind of told the story on another podcast. It'll be released here soon. So, you know, you guys can check that out.
Oh, okay,
then.
cool.
Yeah, I'll talk about that. Yeah, but
All right, so keep us going
Yeah,
on when
so
you
where
go
we at?
real viral. You're real
yeah,
homeless.
so I'm
you're
in,
real
I'm in
feeling
San
it.
Diego. I'm real homeless, real feeling it. Like, yeah, like I go to Fiesta Island Beach, right, and like I let my kids out of the car. I'm just like at my wits end, like just like pooped right this, and like knowing it's all like, but like also saying like, okay, universe, where the fuck is
Dude, were
some
you
kind of
starting
change?
to were you
Like,
starting to reach back
was-
to like I might go back to Washington? Like
No,
were you
not
starting
really.
to consider
So,
shit?
No,
like
because like Washington for me, it's like a little bit more sketchy because of like the people in the area.
or did you think to
that
ever
could-
reach out for help, like to hit your parents or to hit
Oh yeah,
people
yeah.
up
I
and
mean, I
say,
hit up.
Well, you
parents
did,
and
but
parents
I-
have been helping.
But I
like-
mean, like to like get that more like, all right, I'm just gonna come back to Washington, get me a fucking
Stability.
house. Like, yeah, stability.
Well, see, that's what I had done when I was like just before I left. I was in that like
Sedona was
that's-
stability.
No.
Oh, okay.
The place
Before you
before it.
left.
Okay, yeah.
The
initial trip to
apartment
Cali.
where me and my
yes.
kids were living.
Yes,
it was
yes,
just
yes.
me and my kids in the apartment for
So
like
you-
a year.
that is
That's where I
associated
read,
with negative-
That was where I read like the 300 books and knew like, oh my gosh, like to change my inner world, I need to change my outer world. You know what I mean? Like I can literally
So you
rewire
held that
it.
same shit when you were at your wits end, letting the kids out at the beach, fucking completely gassed.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I've been doing this for a year and a half. I'm in
Yeah.
a Prius.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So then it came to me. Like I didn't even pray that time. It was just like, okay, just make a post this time. Like just share openly.
What's happening?
Yeah, like
Your situation.
Yeah, because it was getting hard to like keep up with the messes, like and stuff like that. That they were getting really high energy because of like the season. It was starting to come into summer. You know, like
Yeah,
you
they're
know,
growing
it
too
was-
at a rapid rate.
Yeah, this
Like,
was around April, like coming into April, like April 10th, I think, was like a
Yeah.
switch. Okay, and then like so I make this video, like I'm just like, these are my kids. This is where we are. No, I said, please don't scroll. I just showed my face. I said, these are my kids. I showed them out front of the car. I said, this is where we live. And I like showed the inside of the car. And then I was like, this is how I have to try to work. And I like showed them like moving stuff around, you know, like, and I was like, we found this van for like $6,000 and it would make our lives a little bit easier. Like, and so if anybody wants to like donate and help us get this $6,000 van, like that'd be amazing, you know, like, and so then I post that video. I think nothing of it. Like the next day I have gotten like $250 and I was like so grateful, like blown away.
So you put your
Just like
your,
oh my gosh, like $250. This is crazy.
Holy
like,
shit.
And I'm like, so I post, I'm like so grateful, right? And then the next thing I know, like it's a couple hours later and I'm like, I'm doing something and like I'm talking to my dad and like like I go to check it and it's at like $2,000 something. And I was like, what? Holy shit. Like, and the next thing I know, like by the end of the day, like we're passing $10,000.
So are you checking TikTok and things are just kind of going crazy? You're getting comments,
Dude,
likes,
yeah, it's like it's fucking like that post.
You
went-
you like posted
it
your
was
payment
2.4
info in
no,
there?
No, well, no.
Like how were they sending you money?
Oh, through the GoFundMe that I like.
Okay, you put the
yeah,
GoFundMe-
Yeah, I
okay,
put
yep.
it on the post that I
Yep,
made.
yep,
You know?
yep,
yep.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so that's how the money was coming in. Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Right.
In one day.
In one day, it was up to like 1.4 million views or something in the first day, I think.
holy
Yeah.
shit.
It's
crazy.
yeah. And so like so then I'm just like, okay, well we're not gonna like we're gonna sit with this for a second and just like, cause this is wild, bro. I'm like in shock. I'm not thinking like,
you had no money,
dude. Yeah, and then all of a sudden we have like all this money, you know, like, and I'm like, whoa, what the fuck, bro? Like, wow.
God damn.
Yeah, right.
Right?
He's like, that's how I was feeling.
Yeah.
No, because you were at the bottom.
Dude,
You were at the bottom.
I felt
empty.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's what
I
brought you
had to
to
ask
make
for
this
help.
post.
Yeah.
And so you had to let a lot of things go to say, I'm going to ask
Dude,
for help.
I felt, I had this like, there was like this shame in asking for help. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, and what
Well,
you
you've
were
been
saying
making-
earlier, it's fucked up. It's like what you were saying earlier. The truth of the matter is that all of these amazing people out in the world are waiting for you and your amazing fucking ass to ask for some help, right?
So they can help you. Yeah.
Exactly, because they're just waiting for that, right? Like,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's
That
their
ended up
calling.
being the commodity.
Yeah.
Was the fact that you were in need,
Yeah. Well,
which is weird.
Yeah.
Because it seems like that would be that'd be the liability.
Right.
It's just like, oh, I don't want to be in need, but then all of a sudden that's what.
Yeah.
Well, I think the fact that you had been doing this
Yeah.
for a year and a half,
Yeah.
like just getting it on your own, door dashing, making clothes,
Yeah.
doing open mics,
Yeah.
like, doing this
Being
thing.
a dad, homeschooling, that's another thing I didn't really touch on. Like, I was actively trying to homeschool them. Like, when we had like different materials that my parents gave me and stuff like that. Like, and so I was trying to find some kind of way, like, to like make sure that they're not missing out on
What did
education
that look like?
and all
Was that just
you know?
like you guys would just go to a place and kind
Yeah,
of
we'll go to the
stuff?
park. We'll talk about like the bugs and different things like that. Anything that they feel drawn to. I try to make it not feel like I'm trying to teach them something. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
What do you
Like,
want to learn? Kind of a.
it's more like you play and show me stuff and ask me questions and like
Yeah.
and then I'll start pointing things out based on the things that I can tell that you like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like dialing into like, okay, where's my little girl passionate? Like where's my little man passionate? You know what I mean? And then like nurturing those types of things so that they can actually be excited to learn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like that's like my ultimate kind of like thing was like I needed to make sure that they were like wanting to learn and encouraging the learning through it all. You know
That's
what I
beautiful.
mean?
Yeah.
I have a
Yeah.
friend actually who homeschooled at first, sent their kids to school. It lasted 2 years,
Yeah.
and they recently pulled them out, and they're like, it doesn't hold a candle,
Dude.
to the amount of education I can give them in a day.
So I was homeschooled till the 8th grade.
Oh, okay. So you had a perfect, there we
and
go.
and when I got into school, I had a 4.0, like way above everybody else. It was fucking crazy. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna be behind or something.
When you went
Like,
to public.
Yeah, when I went public, I was 4.0. Like I was kind of like I was honestly, I was trying my hardest not to be like looked at as the teacher's pet because like I had fun with all the stuff. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
you were rubber band. Like the attention was like, oh, I
I
love it.
Yeah, fucking
yeah.
feed me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, see that.
Feed me math,
That
bro.
makes sense, dude. That
That's
makes sense.
that's funny because that same family that I'm referring to, they bought a restaurant out of town, and the kid who is, I think 9 years old, he's the dishwasher at the restaurant.
Yeah.
It's so fucking cool to see because we went there the other day, and this little kid has an apron on, standing on a crate. And he's the fucking dishwasher
I
at a
love it.
big restaurant.
Oh, he's learning that lesson.
and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, that's homeschool, baby.
Right? Yeah, dude.
Learn how to run
thick
the
of it,
business.
right?
In the thick of
Yeah,
it,
bro.
baby.
And like the other thing too, it's like they were just as much my teachers in that time frame as I was theirs. Like they were reintroducing me to parts of myself that I had forgotten and abandoned a long time ago.
These
like
kids.
yeah, they taught me so much. Like
Wow.
like this art would not be expressed without like the ways that they have taught me to like that it's okay to express, like, and that it's beautiful and not just beautiful, like it's fucking awesome, like, yeah.
What happens when you get all this fucking money, you're sitting in
Right,
there,
and-
you're
and-
fucking tripping out.
And
Did you get the van?
Well, here's the thing. Like, think about it like this, right? We got this kind of homeless situation where we're feeling like basically, if you look at it like, we basically need life surgery, right? And what part of a surgery would the van be? What part of that? It's like the Band-Aid, right? It kind of like covers it up and like gives us, like it helps us in the moment. and like with that van especially.
Yeah, you needed a cheaper van and living costs, living expenses.
So we just needed something. Well, what was happening? Like it was going viral, and I had a movement. So like it was like more opportunity too.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
and I'm like thinking, like,
what I need yesterday isn't what I need today.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
real.
like, well, because what we ultimately needed and wanted is a shift in our life.
Okay.
You know, not to be stuck like that. You know.
Yes.
Yeah, and so like that's what I'm saying is like
Good
the van
point.
was like a Band-Aid, right? It would have helped us and helped us to feel more comfortable in that moment.
Yes.
But what would it have done for us, like going forward in our ability to like gain income and things like that, you know, like
Yes.
and remain in a positive type of living situation where we can freely go. You know what I
see.
mean?
The van was a Band-Aid, and
we needed surgery.
And what happened was the opportunity was like a cure to what you were dealing with that
Yeah.
moment, and you no longer needed a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
Now you're able to move
Yeah.
and do your thing.
So then me and my kids, we start brainstorming together because like that's the
Sick.
cool fucking thing about it. You know, like
That'd be a cool moment.
yeah.
Hell yeah, that
we're
would.
like, okay, like what do you guys want to do? Like we've all been through it, and I know that they've been through it just as much as me. You know what I mean? And so like I want to like build us a life that like is cool for all of us, that we all love, you know? And so like I really value their opinions and everything. And so like we had these deep conversations. I'm like, what do you guys want to do with life and all these different things, you know, like, and so like ultimately like we're like ultimately what I want and like my kids are loving, and you know they have inspired within me, and what I'm kind of seeing is that like ultimately I want to create these different like communities for people who live like that and everything to be able to like travel to and be in ultimately, you know what I mean? And then so it's like I have all this money, like, and I have this big idea of like, you know, how we could help and give back, and like me and my kids continue to talk, and we're like, we all love Mr. Beast, like me and my kids, you know, like we watch Mr. Beast movies all the time. And like one of the interesting things about the first video that was going viral was a bunch of people were tagging Mr. Beast. And I'm like, okay, like maybe we can lean into this, you know what I mean? Because like Mr. Beast, like, I mean, his whole philanthropy thing, like all the things he does amazing things for this world, you know, like, yeah. And so like, maybe we can do some sort of like, we can use our movement to like, in collaboration with him to like, help more people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and so that not just I can get like, and me and my family can get a cool RV, you know, or something like a brand new RV, but like we can give away a bunch of brand new RVs and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
Like, so that's where our heads are at. And like, so we go to like, and we've also been talking like, you know, I've been teaching my kids and learning about manifestation and different things like that. And like, you know, you have to step into like the reality you want. You have to embody it, right? And then it attracts it into your life, right? Yeah. And so like what we do is like we're gonna manifest this RV like sponsorship opportunity. Like this is our idea. This is what we're doing. Like we're in this. We're you know.
You got that whole headspace. You're like Mr.
Yes.
Beast. Like this
Yes.
is where you're going.
We're gonna go. No, so we go to La Mesa RV in San Diego, and like me and the kids like walk in like we're ready to fucking buy it. We have the money. Like we know it. Like we're manifesting this. You know what I mean? Like we have the money. We're there to buy it. You know what I mean? Like, and so like we go through, the guy's like showing us all the different RVs and everything. Like we're filming it all and like using, that's like the content that we're going to use like to pitch this guy. Mm-hmm. And like, so like, then I'm like, hey, you know, can you get all the like decision makers in the room and everything like that? And he's like, okay. And he's the only guy who shows up. Turns out he's just like a salesman. He can't do anything. He sends me to his boss. And like what I was telling him is like, you know, we want to make a post and then you guys give us an RV. And then we'll tag Mr. Beast and we'll get him to come and you know, the goal is to get him to come and buy the lot and give it away. You know what I mean? And like, so they're like, I can't make this decision. I can't make this decision. You basically have to go to Phoenix and talk to this guy. And I'm like, oh, okay. So pause, you know? Uh-huh. And then, so like, then I'm thinking, okay, let's lean into the Mr. Beast part, right? Like maybe we can do that before traveling, right? You know,
yeah,
like,
figure that out first. Yeah.
So I take all the footage and I create the post, right? So that also like the RV company can have like an example of what it would look like, right? You know, so, and I made this post and I didn't include any of their branding in it anywhere, right? And I was like, we went to this RV place, we're going to get this, to manifest this RV, and and we're hoping, you guys can help us get Mr. Beast involved or some, basically, and tag him in the comments and all that stuff, so I post that one, and and I was like, I was saying like, tag Mr. Beast, otherwise I'll have to drive to Phoenix basically to talk to this guy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so
just tell him the real situation.
Yeah, exactly. And so so we post that, and that one instantly starts going viral too. And we got a couple of thousand, I think, tags of Mr. Beast on that. And we're like, well, this is kind of cool. So that's 2 weeks of me kind of and I'm starting to go live too at this point also. And talking to people more. But this is also where the hatred is starting to bomb me, bro. Because I don't know if you know this, but if you have face tattoos, there are people that hate you just because you have face tattoos. No shit.
I mean, that makes sense. I mean, people fucking hate you for anything.
I know. And that's kind of one of those gray areas where they get away with it a lot of the times. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's not getting away with it, though. It's just that a hater's job is to hate.
Yeah.
And they're going to fucking hate you.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter
what. It's one
what.
of those other grateful things, right?
No, and it's you. I promise to God that the fucking positivity always outweighs the hate.
Well,
and,
no, they're launching me. You know what I mean?
And there's more people when you're looking at comments, you're getting more positive comments than negative comments.
For sure.
But no matter what, it's for some reason those negative comments dig you a little more than the positive. The positive makes you feel good, but those negatives can make you feel real
if you let them,
you just came right from my character. You just came.
Yeah.
Oh, goddamn. I ain't been nothing but kind to everybody around me. And you're just going to attack me like that?
That's exactly what I was thinking and going through.
Oh, my God.
All of that, on a massive scale, though. Because, here's the other thing, too. By the second day, we hit the news. We were on Insider, the Daily Mail, MSN, all these other ones.
What the
For the Beast post.
No, for the one just before the Beast post. Okay. For the other one.
The original post.
Yeah. And so this is also I'm thinking okay, we have collateral too.
You were literally in the exact place you were supposed to be at that RV dealership. You're like, boom, this is right here. You guys should be doing this, right? Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, and so we sit in for 2 weeks or so, and I hadn't seen really heard anything from Mr. Beast. So I'm like, shit, maybe we're gonna have to go to Phoenix. And the next, no sooner did I say that in my mind than I'm driving and I see an angel number that I look it up and it's stop procrastinating. And that was like literally what it said.
I've got that. What number is that?
I can't even fucking remember at this point.
Fuck, I've got that one.
But yeah, it was like, yeah. So
I gotta look it up. Hey Siri.
That was my DMT trip.
Yeah.
My DMT trip was stop procrastinating. You are the juice. You are the light.
Yeah, it was a random set, so it's probably like, I don't know. You know how like 1904 or something like that.
Just
you know
say
what I mean?
What angel number has to do with deal with procrastination.
Yeah, there you go. Probably change, right? 5. You need to deal with it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess 5 is the dealing with it, right? It's the changing from.
Yeah, when I did DMT, it was I was like blinded by a light coming from what seemed to be my forehead. Like almost like I had a headlamp on, but it was pointed like right down at my eyes. And I couldn't see.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? And a voice came in my head that said like, you are the light.
Yeah.
And you're in your way most of the time, and you need to stop procrastinating. You need to act on your first decision more often. That was probably about, I don't know, 10 years ago.
That's what it is, dude. It's the authentic self comes through first, bro, and then the ego tries to fuck with it. Well, it's not really, it's not that it tries to fuck with it. It's that it gives you opportunities to grow through it, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's the way.
And it also gives you
it's
outs.
giving you gifts.
It gives you like outs to be like, it kind of gives you a little escape route. And it's up to you whether it gives you a fork in the road. You know what I mean? The ego is kind of just like, which way do you want to go? You can either go the way, or you can just,
Ego is literally energy going.
Or you can literally kind of, you can loop back around, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So keep.
Yeah. So it says stop procrastinating, right? And I'm like, okay, we gotta go. So like, we basically left. Like, we didn't even make another stop, and like we were just chilling that day. we'd already gone to the park and stuff.
You're in California.
In California with the kids, yeah, and like we got that one, and like as I saw it, we were already headed towards Arizona. I was like, fuck it, we're going to Phoenix, yo. And I talked to the kids like, hey, you guys want to go to Phoenix? They were like, yeah. And then like the second they're like, yeah, we pass another sign that's like Phoenix this way, basically.
You guys are down.
Yeah,
These
bro.
kids are down.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, and like, and we have fun, like, yeah, that's part of the joy of it, like enjoying it. Yeah. And like, so like then we end up like going there. We had gotten a few products. It was like my first t-shirts delivered and stuff, and I decided I was gonna give those to this guy, like, as a gift and everything. And like, as I'm proposing our idea and all that, and like we get to Phoenix, and like, when we got to Phoenix, like this is really like we just, it was like really late at night, and like I'd been feeling like, yo, you have to go, you can't stop. It has, like, this is a time sensitive thing, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like it felt like I had to go. So like, so we get to just before Phoenix. It's exit 73. And I have a 73 tattooed on my face. It was like, and it was the last exit before Phoenix. And I'm like, okay, let's go. And I check that exit out, and it's camping world is right there. It's a way bigger RV sales place than the one that we've been pitching. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And then so there wasn't really any good places to like park for the night, and like so we kept going, exit 75, 2 down, and there was like a Denny's, and like they had 24-hour parking and stuff, and like we got some orange juice and parked in the parking lot, and like we like as soon as I pull into that parking lot of that Denny's, like the first one, I hadn't looked up the address at all for the RV place that we were going to or anything like that, right? And like I pull into this parking spot, I turn off the car, and I look this way, and the fucking RV place is right next to me. Yeah. And so I was like, what? Like, I'm flipping out. Like, holy shit. Like, what? Like, yo. And like, yeah, I recorded some videos of me flipping out like, yeah, dude, this is crazy. What? Like, yeah. And then so like, we end up like chilling out, like kind of freshening up, getting as much sleep as we can. I'm writing down as like all the business specifics of this, like, collaboration opportunity that I'm gonna present to the dude, right? And like we get there at like 9 a.m. and like turns out the dude isn't there for the day. So like we end up going to a hotel for a couple days, and then we come back, and like we ended up getting a meeting with the dude, right? And like he brings us into his office and everything, and let me tell you, don't ever bring your kids with you to like a meeting.
That was a nightmare.
Oh, it was a nightmare, but like it was a really cool, like it was good energy for sure. But like my kids were getting into stuff that they should not be, So that made it kind of like not the best. And I was like, although he loved everything about like my whole everything that I was.
Did he know who Mr. Beast was?
Yeah, dude, and he was like,
that's a big part
dude,
of that.
I know, that's the thing. Like he was like, I love like all of this right here, like all of it. Like the only like his heart was like yes, you know what I mean? And like his mind is like money, like business, you know what I mean? Like, and so he's like, do you have any contact with anyone at Mr. Beast's team yet? And I was like, no. And then he was like, okay, well, we'll think about it. I don't know. And like, then I was like, we ended up ending the meeting, like, and I'm like, fuck, if we had Mr. Beast involved, he would have done it right then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I wonder if you would have got him to commit to like if Mr. Beast,
right.
Like if you could have got him to like do a post right there.
All right.
If Mr. Beast says that then I will give this or whatever,
Yeah.
But that's
I
fucking
was breaking
crazy.
down the numbers, and even without Mr. Beast's
course.
involvement, like the numbers we were getting
would have brought an RV.
And then plus, so the other thing is like I have these fucking news producers now in the DMs. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And like all of them want some kind of like bigger story. Like on how we got there, all these different things, like, and so I'm like, okay, this is another form of leverage that I'm using, like, and so I'm like, hey, like, even if Mr. Beast isn't involved, like, you and me and this collaboration will trigger the news to happen. So like, you know, like, I mean, it's a big, it was, and then I had numbers all going for me, you know, like, I think it was just their RV place was kind of small for the numbers that I was talking. Yeah. You know what I mean? And which was why I started to realize, hey, why did I get off at exit 73 instead of 75 at this way larger camping?
Oh,
you know,
I see that
RV.
first one.
Yeah, exactly. And so then I'm like starting to open up like possibilities. Like, okay, well, I know for a fact, like if I had Mr. Beast involved, like this guy would have just done it right then, you know? Like, so where does Mr. Beast live? You know? And like, we looked it up, me and the kids, North Carolina. And me and the kids are like, you know, I asked them, you guys want to go to North Carolina? They're like, yeah. So we ended up going to North Carolina. Yeah. And we drove to North Carolina in like a few days. And then, like upon arriving in North Carolina, like the whole way, I'm just getting all these signs like, this is perfect, everything. You're about to make Mr. Beast. Like, I'm seeing even signs that say, like, Elon and stuff like that. And I'm like, whoa, bro, like, I'm about to meet some billionaires or something. Like, yo, it's going to be dope. And yeah. And, like, so we get there, and then, like, it hits me, like, we just drove all the way across the U.S. What do we do now? You know? Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to sit with it because, like, I know at this point, you know, like, these are the waves, you know, like, you get these opportunities, you take the aligned, inspired action, and then, boom, you sit with it, you like, let it just come in, you know what I mean? And so, like, the next day, it was my son's birthday the next day. And, like, so we ended up, like, hitting up the parents for some, like, money for a cake and stuff like that. Because like we had like tapped out. I had funded in all of the money that we'd gotten into my business at this point. Like and like, you know, like my business license, all the different things. Cause like I want to be like a legit, you know, businessman. I don't want to be like, you know, like some hobby businessist or something, you know? Yeah. Like I'm a legit entrepreneur and I'm making a big difference in my life and change and everything, you know? Yeah, so
it's
like
your son's birthday.
Yeah, it's my son's birthday. I'd just gotten this 555 tattoo on my birthday, like the month prior. It also it kind of triggered that controversy, like with all this the assholes that you know hate people with face tattoos. Okay, you know what I mean? Because they're like, oh, you just got a bunch of money and then you go get this face tattoo.
Because like, you're doing these videos still, you have this new following.
Yeah. And we jumped overnight, like doubling in following, like so and the whole following, like before it was this following that like knew me more, you know, like they knew like all my spiritual ideas.
But these are all new followers.
These are all new followers.
Double the amount.
Exactly, and all they know about is that we were homeless living in a car. You know what I mean?
And you got a new face tattoo.
And I got a new face tattoo. Yeah. And so like I'm getting all this fucking
How many what's the number by now? What's the number of followers by North Carolina?
Like 99,000 something or something
100K.
like that. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, and so like 5:55 we pull up exactly 5:55 at the park with his little cake and all that stuff and like little presents and stuff. We get out and like we're just hanging out, like sing happy birthday. And like he opens his presents and then this random dude pulls up to the park and like gets out with his dog and just starts walking his dog around the park. And like I'm like instantly thinking like, dude, this dude is he's connected with Mr. Beast in some way. Like I fucking know it. I know it.
I was thinking
you
that
know,
that's
like,
what you were thinking.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Like, and he ends up gravitating like towards us, right? He starts talking to my kids and everything like that. And my kids are like, he's like, oh, you guys are road tripping? Like, oh, that's so cool. What are you here for? And they're like, we're here to see Mr. Beast, blah, blah, blah. You know, like, and he's like, oh, I'm one of his producers. And I was like, what? Oh my fucking God, no way. Yeah, and so, like, we end up talking to this producer of Mr. Beast right there. And, like, he's like, dude, you might be perfect for a bit right now. And I'm, like, getting, like, oh my God, you know, like, oh my God, like straight up, like, you know, oh my God, like it's legit though, you know, like what? Yeah. Like I'm mind blown, you know? Yeah. And so like,
because you saw all these signs.
Yeah, dude. And I took that inspired action. I went out there and like, and showed up right at the time of the face tattoo of all times, right?
Yeah.
Dude. I was like, what? Yeah. And then so, like, we wait a couple days, and we're not hearing from him, and I'm like, oh, man, like, don't tell me this shit ain't working right now. Like, and so, like, then we end up seeing his wife at the park, And like she's walking the same dog. That's how we know, you know, like, and she walks up to us and she's like, oh, did he tell you? Like they ended up going with someone else. Like all the producers wanted you, all of them, except the like higher up team, like ended up having somebody else that they wanted to do it. Like completely different that wasn't even in like the pool that the producers were selecting from or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, that sucks. Well, okay, you know, like that must mean something like this. Maybe this is some sort of domino, you know, like I'm setting up dominoes right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like, so like Mr. Beast, like we've got his producer, like don't necessarily work out for the bit that like he said we might work out for. He did say though, like that, you know, they loved my idea too, like the one that I came to pitch, you know, like they loved it. They thought it was so cool. And I was like, okay, well, you know, like we got positive feedback there. They like that, you know, like, and then the next day at the park after seeing his wife, I see the producer again and I'm like, hey, you know, like, what do you think would be helpful, you know, to like get my collab to actually work out, you know, and like, and he gave me some little pointers and tips of like what he thought I should do. And so I'm like, okay, you know, like, and I took all those to mind and like, boom. And so then I'm like, okay, so what's next? Like, where are we going next? And so immediately I'm like, okay, Camping World, right? I look up the headquarters of like their, you know, main office and it's in Illinois. And I'm like, okay, it's not too far, you know? So we end up driving to Illinois and like, I look up like, who's the chief marketing officer, you know, like, and I get his info on LinkedIn. I like shoot off some like connection requests and all that stuff, like to like all the people that could possibly be the right people to talk to, you know, like, and then like we get there and, legit, like, we're in Whole Foods and the dude is in the aisle right in front of me. The Camping World like CMO,
The marketing guy. Holy shit.
Yeah, dude. And I'm like, I'm still like the whole thing. It's like it's still, whoa, shit. Like every time that something crazy like this happens, you know, like, and I'm like,
You're letting
I
it
didn't know what
happen.
to say. I'm just like, you have really nice shoes, man. Yeah, and then like the next day we end up going there, and then he's like we walk up to the door and I'm like, hey, I want to speak to so-and-so. And he's, the lady's like, okay, let me go get him. She goes and gets him. He comes out. He's like, oh, you're the guy from Whole Foods. Yeah, man. Like, come on in. Bring your kids in. Like, and then we end up having this great meeting where this dude is like super cool. Like, he's like really down to earth and chill. He loves like our idea and everything. He's like, yo, okay, like, I love it all. Where we're at right now, we literally just cut the influencer program. So, like, unfortunately, we will have to wait a little bit if, you know, like, to do this. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, okay, I got another fucking domino. You know, like, how else can I, like, what else can I do? You know, like, and then so, like, then I'm thinking, okay, like, while me and my kids were in North Carolina, me and my kids kind of shifted to like the idea of wanting like a fifth wheel and like a truck and something like that, because that would be the most comfortable, you know? Yeah. And so like, so we were like, okay, so we just talked to the RV place, right? So let's see, maybe we can talk to like, I don't know, CarMax or something, and at least just get a truck given to us or something to kind of trigger this or something, you know, like get another company involved, you know, like, and like, so we find out where the Camping World headquarters is, and we go there, and that's in like Virginia or something, and like we got there, and then something happened where I just like. I got an email back from the Camping World guy there. That's when I knew, like, that's when he told me, like, it was the influencer program. They couldn't do it, you know?
Wait, so this is the same company?
Yeah.
Camping
I
World?
think you meant CarMax, the first one.
Huh?
Or
You
this-
said CarMax place is in Virginia.
Yeah, CarMax is in Virginia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You said Camping World.
Yep, you said Camping World, but
right.
I understood
Camping
what
World
you meant.
emailed me when I got to
Yeah.
CarMax.
Okay.
Yep.
Right.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
what it was. It wasn't, yeah. And so, like, that's when he gave me the hard no for now. You know what I mean? Was when we were there in West Virginia or whatever.
But now you're in
That's
front of
CarMax.
CarMax.
Yeah, now I'm in front of CarMax, and I just read this email right after we got there, and I'm like, well, what the fuck am I gonna do now? Like, I don't have this other company like being, like bring in on this with
Yes,
me. You
no
know?
leverage.
Yeah, exactly. My leverage is getting all fucked up, like, and so, so Tech 9 is playing on the radio, and I'm like, what do I do now? What do I do now? And I'm like praying about it, and like me and Paul, like my homie that I used to live with, and he, like
You're
started
still in
doing
touch with
music.
him.
What? Kinda.
Okay.
Yeah, he's passed on. He passed on in 2016. Yeah. So like, but he does keep in touch, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at that moment, you
Yeah.
were still texting.
Huh?
At that moment in your life, were you still in touch with him?
No.
CarMax time? Okay.
Yeah. So no. So like this was like, I mean, kind of. Yeah. Like in a spirit way. Like so in a number way. So his last name is Lee, right? And Lee flipped upside down is 337. So anytime I see 337 or 733, it's like I'm seeing his last name. You know what I mean? Right. And so like sometimes I'll get like a message and then like that, and it's like, oh, cool, this is connected to like my best friend, this really great supportive part of me, like part of my life. Like, if it's not him, it is him. You know what I mean? It is,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. And so like, yeah. So, where was I at in the story?
Just Paul. You just you were in front of CarMax.
Yeah. So I'm listening to Tech 9, and I'm knowing that like me and Paul had talked about like if I was ever gonna get like a record label or something like that, because of all the like conspiracy theories and everything that we dived into, like the only record label I would ever want to like be on really was Strange Music.
Yeah.
And I was like, like I need to go back to me. Okay, we've been focusing on this collaboration opportunity. That's not really my dream. It's a part of it, right? But that's not. We need to come back here to like me, like, and so I was like, okay, we're going to start putting the focus back onto the music again then, like, and how can we do that? And what have we been doing now? We go to the top. Like, how do we go to the top right now? Like, where's Strange Music? So like, that was the next thing. Like, I immediately looked up, where is Strange Music headquarters? And I was like, Lee Summit, Missouri.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I was like, Lee, right? Yeah. And like,
there you go.
yeah. So I go,
Holy shit.
yeah. So like, next thing I know, like we ring on the doorbell at Strange Music and everything like that, like, and like we talked to the receptionist. We left some like, business cards and stuff, like, and then like didn't really hear anything. Like we go to the park, we're just hanging out. Like we ended up hanging out in like the area for like 2 months or so, and just kind of like wanting to like connect and everything. It's just like, I mean, they're fucking busy people, obviously. Like,
Yeah.
biggest independent record label in the whole entire world or whatever. And so, like, mindful of that, and then, like, we were at the park one day, and I could have sworn I saw someone who's connected and very high up at Strange Music. And so I, like, messaged them on Instagram, like, hey, was it you at the park right here? Like I said, which park it was. And they were like, no. But they responded. And so I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, and then the next thing I know, like, it's like small talk, little conversation, but like really good conversation, like quality. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And so like the next thing I know, like it's the next day, I've been sitting with it for a while. I don't want to push anything on anyone, like I want to honor everybody. You know what I mean? Like, and if somebody's not, I don't want to like use someone to get ahead. I want to like,
You want to attract.
yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? And yeah, so I'm like, how do I talk to this person and say like, I want to send you, something, like, and so we end up getting a hotel room, and I record like 5 songs in that hotel room, and I'm like, and like, I'm like, I'm gonna send her one of these songs if she's cool with it. I'm gonna send her a message and just say, can I send you this song? And only listen if it resonates or whatever, like, so I ended up sending her a song, and then like, and if you like it, send it to Travis or Tech, and she was like, okay. And so like this person listens to it and likes it. And so then I'm just kind of like waiting and like, and then I hear back from her that, they've got the tour and everything that's going on. So there's a lot of stuff going on, right? Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of like time before I'm able to like actually sit down and talk to people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like, not to say that anything would go either way, but you know, like, yeah,
It's a
exactly,
direction. Yeah.
exactly. And so, so let's see. So then I'm starting to like feel really overwhelmed again, like with like the whole living in the car with the kids and all that stuff, you know, and like
Starting to catch back
yeah,
up again.
So I have some family reaches out and offers to like watch the kids for a year while I start focusing in on my business and doing the things that I have to do so I can focus.
get where you
right.
need to be,
Exactly. Because like honestly, like living in a Prius and traveling is a great setup for a single an entrepreneur building a business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's very cost effective, and at the same time, it also offers the opportunity to travel frequently.
And be
you know what I mean?
in the now.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like, yeah. So
It's like I can be there tomorrow. I can be
Exactly.
up at a podcast in Washington.
yeah. So we left. I went and I dropped the kids off with the family and stuff. And like kind of since then, it's just been in this blossoming forth of me, like allowing myself to do art, you know, like, and learning, like hanging out with friends and stuff. Like this is how I really got into skateboarding was putting art on skateboards, right? Was I went into an art shop in this time frame with a friend, and she was like, saw this blank skateboard, and she was like, yo, your art is like dope. It's super edgy. Your photographs are really cool and like hot, you know, like, and would look so sick on a skateboard. And I was like, they really would.
Dude, you're the fucking Zoolander of fucking skateboards, dude. For real, like coming up with some new fucking sexy. Look at these fucking sticks.
Yeah,
right
so
here.
the way that I like, so with my skateboard artwork, one of the things, this is another one of those really cool things that it's been bringing back for me. As a kid, one of my favorite art forms has always been collage art. So like that means like taking magazines and my own artwork and things like that and like cutting them all up and like
together,
creating new things with it. You know what I mean? And so like I have all these photographs. I have like this huge fucking backlog, like, you know, portfolio, because I've done a ton of professional photography over the years now.
Oh
And-
yeah, you used to pose and shit,
exactly,
right? I
yeah.
remember seeing that.
Yeah.
That professional shit where you were
Exactly.
doing model stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, I was
shooting or posing? You said
posing. Yeah, I was working for a lot of T-shirt brands and stuff. What the fuck? That was like right when I got out of that, you know, like working for the government and everything, and life had just come crashing down. And like that's one of those things that I was starting to do right there. Like,
Oh, the shit looked
yeah,
good.
yeah, it's good. It's
Yeah.
great photography for sure. I know
Yeah.
it. Yeah. And so like I have this huge portfolio of photography that I did trade for print, which means like, you know, I took the photo for free. And like I get to use the photo for free, and you get to use the photo for free, right? Like the model, right? Like they get the photo for free, and I get the photo for free to use for whatever we want, right?
Yeah.
So like I start taking all these different pictures, right? And like then I also have all these different artworks, right? And what I do with those is I upload them into my computer and remove the backgrounds and things like that, so that I can actually collage it on top of my photography. Yeah.
I like the style.
Yeah, it's really cool, right? And it's also brings me back to the sticker van and like the sticker style and all that. You remember my sticker van?
So that's what it was all about. When I knew this man earlier in life, this man drove an Astro van. I could
love
never
those.
Well,
forget.
first it was an Aerostar, and then it was an Astro.
Aerostar.
Yeah.
That's
I love
right.
the
The
Astros.
Aerostar got really decked out. The Astro got semi-decked out.
The original was fucking.
That was the
dead.
Outside
the
and
Aerostar.
inside?
Dude, oh yeah.
Bro, he used to fucking take the seats out that motherfucker, dude, and we would just cruise around, dude. You would just get anybody in that thing. We would get somebody 21. We would go to Handy Andy.
We'd pull up to the mini mart and
And they
see
would-
some hot girls and invite them to come
bro,
with
they
us.
would
How are
go-
you guys not getting pulled over in a full
we
stickered
would
Astro
not,
van?
bro. Look, I want to paint the picture. A case of Mickeys.
Yeah.
Okay, it might be those ones, those grenades.
I
that you
just
used
saw
to
those
get.
at the store
Bro, You get
yesterday.
a case of Mickeys,
Yeah,
right?
we'd go find some parking spot out in the back of like some doctor's
let me,
office.
Let
or
me
some
paint the
random
picture.
shit.
Andrew had the fucking Nog Champa.
Oh God, burning
bro,
while he's
in the
driving.
van.
Oh my God!
So the van's got no seats.
Yeah.
Except for his
Well,
one
there's
seat.
mine.
The
So
two
there's
in
the
the
two in
front,
the front. There's
and
the
then nothing-
bench in the back.
Okay, there was a bench.
Was it
there
along
was
the
a bench.
wall?
Okay.
Was it along the wall though?
That's
no,
right.
people would sit their butts up against the wall.
That's right. So
Okay.
you
It
had
was like
the-
a circle, right?
So you had that's right.
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
right.
so the bench was all the way in
Yeah.
the back, and then
Yeah.
you
And then
beanbag the side.
We
or
had
whatever.
like a horse blanket on the ground,
Yeah,
like, and
that's
everything,
right.
and then like I had neon lights around the speakers and everything too.
But the big thing was that you could hop in,
Yeah.
like you could just say, you could be at the corner store and be like, "Oh, what are you guys doing?" It's like,
Yeah.
"Come on in." Like, we're coming in. We just going on a trip. We just cruising down, and we
you
weren't.
just get back to your car later.
Bro, we weren't a car. I didn't have a car.
Yeah, you didn't have a car at that
Bro,
time.
we were fucking
Yeah, we
cruising.
were hoofing it
I
or
had-
skating
oh,
everywhere.
dude, I would walk miles
So
to
get
get
to
a
the
place.
van?
Anywhere I wanted to go. If I was like, oh, is
So
this
we're-
where we ending? I was like, well, I gotta walk home. I would walk in the dark, bro. Back in the day, I would walk so far, bro. I would be like, oh, I didn't go to school today. Me neither. Okay, where you at? All right, yeah, you at your house. Okay, that's gonna take me like maybe 2 hours to get there, but I'm gonna be there.
Yeah, right.
And I would walk
Yeah.
from my house all the way up hills,
Yeah.
through valleys, and dude, bro, this is some real like
There was
like
a-
Frodo
Dude,
shit.
it was the Sheridan. What was that area that y'all were where Chris was? What was that area called? Pinecrest.
Parkwood East.
Parkwood East, yeah.
Yeah.
So like there was this area called Parkwood East, right? And,
That
like,
was the
Oh,
spot.
he
It's
told
like-
me about it. Like
Yeah.
parks everywhere.
Yeah, for sure. And we used to like hoof it everywhere, right? Like this big group of kids.
It was a neighborhood
yeah.
that was like connected
Uh-huh.
by parks.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was fucking awesome. But then you had the Sheridan Foot Clan.
Yeah.
You had Sheridan.
Was
that
like
a gang?
It was
No,
the-
that was like my like the people who come hang out at my house because it was like off of Sheridan Street.
Yeah.
Sheridan Foot Clan. It's just
Yeah.
his people.
You just start naming
Bro, we
shit.
had crew. We had a crew like THC. It was Team Haggard crew. Yeah.
Yeah, you had real crew.
Yeah, yeah.
And talk about
SFC, and then
SFC. That was
yeah.
a big one.
Yeah, yeah.
Which
Sheridan
was
Foot
what?
Clan.
Sheridan Foot Clan.
Yeah, see, yeah. SFC, yeah. Sheridan Foot Clan.
You tagging
Yeah.
this shit
Yeah,
everywhere.
I was tatting this on myself even too. Yeah. For
So,
sure.
we got to talk just a little bit about the fucking jackass shit that we
Oh
used to
yeah,
do.
bro. Yeah.
We got to bring it back in
Cool.
because
Okay, here. You want to bring it back? You know what I've been doing lately? I've
Lately?
been trolling. I've been trolling those motherfuckers with my Photoshop skills.
Really?
Yeah, I've been pulling jackass pranks on the jackass guys, dude.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay,
low key.
How?
Huh? Okay, so like 2 months ago, I brought my skateboards to the Skateboard Hall of Fame. Right, I was getting reaction videos from my sample deck and everything, and I like had the dude at the Skateboarding Hall of Fame do a reaction. He loved the board and all this stuff, and he was like, "Yo, we do events here and all this stuff. In 4 days, Tony Hawk's about to be here," like casually, and I'm like, 4 days, Tony Hawk's about to be here? Yeah, okay. Like I had been planning this whole trip all the way up to like Zoomies in Washington to like show them my sample stuff, and I knew I had to do it within like 2 weeks. And then when he said that, I was like, okay, so I got to go to Washington right now, and then I got to come back in 4 days. I have to be back in 4 days.
That's 4 days from now.
That was 4 days from then, that day.
Oh,
yeah,
that
and,
day,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. And so like, so I left and I fucking went to Zoomies, and I went to I didn't just stop at Zoomies. I showed them the board, and then I went to CCS mail order, like
Yep,
their
of
headquarters.
course, CCS.
Yep, stopped by their headquarters in Portland, Oregon, and then I went to
dope.
San Francisco, and I like tried to hit up Thrasher, but there was like this mob of like homeless people outside that area, so it was really hard to find parking. And I ended up going to Deluxe Distribution in San Francisco instead. Their address is 1111 17th Street or something like that. So
Something that
pretty
resonated.
pretty interesting, right? Yeah, the like 1111.
Yep.
Yeah, and so like so like I end up going there, and then I get back in time to meet Tony Hawk, and like I another friend who I met on TikTok, like really supportive friend. She lives in the area too, and like I'm like, yo,
This is like
I'm
LA?
really- yeah, I'm like really close to your house. If you want to like come hang out, like she'd seen me at the Skateboarding Hall of Fame, and she was like, yo, yeah, I'm hella close to there. So like I hit her up like, yo, you want to come and hang out at this this event? Tony Hawk's gonna be there, like Steve Caballero and his band and like all sorts of stuff.
Sick.
Yeah, dude, Tony Alva, dude, like yeah, like a lot, like and like there was at least 50 to 200 like pro skateboarders there.
Wow.
Yeah. So like we go there, and I don't have any money, and I found out like at the day that I got there. Oh, and also upon arriving back from my journey up to Washington and back, I got in a car wreck with my Prius, and it was like it instantly had to go to the shop, and I had to work that out the morning of like meeting Tony Hawk. And so like I ended up going and working that out, getting in a rental car, and then meeting up with my friend. And then I didn't have any money, but I knew that the tickets like were like $40 or something. I said, fuck it, I'm just gonna go sit out in front like early, you know. And so I did. And me and my friend are just sitting out in front, and like the crew of people and the skateboarding museum guy like absorbed us into it. They like called us in like, hey, here's your wristband. Like I didn't even have to ask. Like, well,
Damn.
for her. And then there was another dude that walked up to me and he was like, hey, do you have a wristband? And I was like, no. And he was like, here you go. And I was like, what? Like, you know, yeah. And so like, and then I end up like showing Tony Hawk my skateboard. He loves it. Like I like get a little video. She's like,
I remember seeing
it's
the
on
video.
there. Yeah, it's on the TikTok. Yeah. And then like I met Steve Caballero and like he checked it out, and like, you know, Tony and like Christian Hosoi, like all these pro skaters, right? And what's cool is like there's another guy that's in this wheelchair that's there, and I'm like instantly thinking of Paul, my homie. Yeah. Like I'm like, dude, this is so cool that there's like a dude in, and then like it's the same brand wheelchair. It's like the same one, dude.
Wow.
And I'm like, dude, that's like from the back,
This
I'm
is
like, yo, it's
almost like
Paul.
some
It's fucking
new-
Paul,
yeah.
bro. But no, his name is Russ on Wheels. He's super cool. So like, yeah. So like I end up connecting with all these really cool people there, and like seeing these cool synchronicities, like with like, you know, Russ on Wheels being there and everything. And then I leave that event with a bunch of really cool connections in the DMs that are like somewhat responsive. And like, so then people know people. And the next thing I know, I'm like creating fucking like Photoshop edits of the Jackass guys. Like, here, let's see.
I need you to send anything that you're showing me on the podcast. I need you to send it to me.
Yeah, for
this
sure.
is legit. I'm excited to see this.
Yeah.
Because I have no, I don't know what the fuck he's about to show us right now. I have not seen this.
Here's some of the what ifs I'm posting, right? Look at that. That's Steve Caballero on one side and Tony Alva on the other. Right? Those would be some
Yep,
sick
Steve
collab
here.
skateboards, right? And let me see.
I love the collage.
Yeah, dude.
I honestly
Isn't
love
that
it.
sick?
Dude,
It's
and
sick.
honestly, me and my girlfriend, we have skateboards hanging on the walls.
Yeah,
man.
dude.
So that's kind of our vibe, dude.
Dude, yeah.
So we
Yes.
we would love to get something cool that you got.
Yeah, bro, get it.
Seriously,
Yeah.
you have them for sale?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, for sure. Link in bio, bro.
Okay.
Yeah. Peep that. Here, let me see though. Here, so here's one for instance. I made a Steve Caballero American Girl doll magazine insert.
Yeah.
Right?
Dude, send those to
No, wait,
me.
hold on. Look
Oh.
at his little rainbow
perfect.
187 pads too,
Bro,
and the
his
half
little-
cabs in there. You see that?
His little pads.
Yeah.
His little unicorn hat. And his little shoes.
See, yeah. So like I've been doing kind of like stuff like that. Like I took Chris Pontius's body and I took Wee Man's head and I put it on Chris Pontius's body. You know, like
So
and I-
kind of just trolling in a
trolling them.
creative
Yeah,
way.
yeah. Uh-huh, exactly.
I
In a
love
fun
that.
way that they
In
can
a
all
fun way.
Exactly. It's like a new form of Jackass where nobody gets hurt and everyone can laugh, right?
Yes.
Exactly.
I love that.
That's my thought on it. You know
That's
what I mean?
badass, dude.
Yeah.
I think that the direction you're taking with this stuff is fucking cool, man.
Yeah,
Like,
right?
because I feel like what you're doing is you're following what feels right to you and you're following your intuition.
It's me, right?
It's truly
Yeah.
you, man. And honestly, everything from Camping World to Tech Nine headquarters
Right?
to
These-
coming back to Tony Hawk to Zoomy. Zoomy's back to Tony Hawk. Like this honestly is an epic story, bro. And honestly, for you to be in LA
Yeah.
and for us to connect
Yeah.
and you to say, yo, I'm gonna drive up to Spokane and to be here
Yeah.
right now in the flesh.
Yo.
This is fucking crazy.
So cool.
I mean, all I'm saying is like, if you're not tapped into this podcast right now, you're
What are
missing
you
out
doing,
because
right?
this is very, fucking cool shit to me because
Yeah.
this isn't my life.
Yo, and if you want to hate on it, go ahead and hate on it, because you're just gonna bring us some more traction for all the fun shit that we're trying to do. Okay?
No, I mean, I
Yeah.
love what you're doing, man. I
Yeah.
love I think that this is exactly
Right.
what
I'm talking about anybody listening.
No, you're
that
right,
doesn't
but
like it.
I think that it's funny because you almost have a DMT brain normal,
It's true.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like the ability
You
to
have a
Yeah.
have a really fine like tuning to like what your inner
Yeah.
like cycles are
For sure.
and you recognize your patterns and you learn from them,
Mm-hmm.
whereas people will be like 60 years old repeating the same fucking things, and it'll be something they did when they were a child.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it seems like you learn right away from what their issues are and you correct them, and sometimes that gets you all the way to the point where you're traveling across like,
Yep.
hey, where's the headquarters for this place? I'm going
Right.
there. I mean, everyone's always thought to show up at the headquarters of their
Right.
fucking dream.
So
Dude,
you
that's
have
my philosophy
You know what I
too.
mean?
It's
But
like,
you're just actually doing
yeah.
it.
It's like you can send, because I've sent hundreds of emails to so many people, and you know
Exactly.
what it's like. It sucks getting responses from emails, bro. And like I'm like, no, I wanna do something epic with my life.
And you're like,
you know?
I bet you if I showed
if
up.
I'm there, I know that my energy is gonna be like, holy shit. To
No,
this
it's way
person,
more
right?
than an email.
Yeah, exactly.
Way more.
Exactly. And so like that's
I'm
the
in
type
sales.
of impact that I want to have when I get there. I want to be like, I want to show up and be like, I just came all the way here for you. Right? Because I have something that can benefit both of us. You know what I mean?
No, it's huge because
Yeah.
it's body language. People can read your passion.
Yeah.
So when I used to knock on doors,
Yeah.
you could look at somebody and you could articulate your hunger. You
Yeah.
could articulate your like, hey, look, man, like this is why I'm out here. Hey, yo, like you could connect with somebody and you could build rapport with them and they would say, I like you.
Yeah.
I don't, you know what? I
Yeah.
kind of like what you're doing, but I really fucking like you.
Yeah,
So I want to buy. Where it's like when you're on the phone, when you're on an email, it does not the same is what you can relay in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and not only that, but like you just like think about like how you feel right now that I drove this far to get here, right?
Insane, dude.
Right?
Gotta listen.
Like think about that. Like that's what
Yeah.
they're thinking too. Like they're feeling too. They're like, wow, this guy is this much invested in this that he's willing to come here.
Yeah.
From there.
And
Like,
especially if
whoa,
you document
know?
it. And you're just
Exactly.
like, look,
Yeah.
3 days ago, I said, look, I'm heading to go to Strange Music headquarters.
I actually haven't been saying it.
Yeah, but,
Yeah,
but like,
but
you know what
yeah.
I mean? Or whatever,
Yeah.
whatever you say. Like, I'm
Yeah,
heading
yeah.
to, and then you're just like, look, like, this is meant to be.
No, they take
Right.
you for real. And
So I kind of was saying it step by step. I was saying everything, like what I was doing on TikTok. And then when I had that one viral post, that was when I had to learn a quick lesson. That was what that was. Like, I feel like. That's why it didn't continue.
And the lesson was what?
The lesson was like how to like manage what is incoming from that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I had to develop a strategy to manage that for myself to where I can, not have to think about it anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just get that out. Like.
where are you going from here? Where are we right now?
I'm
Don't
right
tell
here.
me you don't know.
I'm right here.
Wow. What?
Yeah.
Okay, so when your
That's pretty
mindset is
cool.
like, I'm gonna come up to fucking Spokane, I'm gonna do this podcast, you don't have any like what's next.
No, not right now. Like I know like the general idea of like what I
That's
want.
awesome.
Right?
That's fucking crazy.
It's like, okay, so you got in your car and you put it in drive, and now you're here. What the fuck?
And there's no plan.
For real.
I mean, my plan is to like, to lean into this, to manifest this more, to focus this more.
No,
know?
you have a hell of a story,
and
dude.
I know, here's the thing. I don't worry about the next step, like, because I know the direction I'm going, right?
The trajectory.
My job is to keep and hold that direction, right? Like, I
Yes.
hold the vision, right?
Like a compass.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, it doesn't matter if I'm in the woods right now. I'm going north.
Like
Yeah.
a compass.
Yep.
Wow.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay. We're heading
Yeah.
In this case, it is north.
Yeah.
This is a no.
Yeah.
Yo, this is a literal message to every kid out there, to every person out there that's saying, hey, it's like, yo, you got to follow this direct path. You got to do this. You got to do. Fuck that shit, dude.
Yeah.
It's simple,
If you,
baby.
if you for real strip yourself of all the things
Yes.
that make you feel safe and you follow that inside compass,
Right.
it will take you to where you need to go. If you start seeing things that you can start making sense of in a positive way.
Exactly.
This means
Yeah.
go here.
With a mutual respect of everyone else and their possibilities.
But there's like
right?
a respect to not
Yeah.
being delusional.
Right.
Like you're not just blindly,
Right.
delusionally moving in a direction. There's some type of like,
I mean, it might seem that way
it
to
might
other
seem
people.
that
for
way,
sure.
but there is like but the fucking, no, the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah.
The shit that you've done and it almost can give somebody like a faith to say, dude, you can take that jump and not feel safe and you'll be taken care of.
Yeah.
And that's fucking trippy because a lot of people are like, dude, I can't take that jump. That's just a movie. That's just a documentary. That's
Right.
just one guy.
Yeah.
Bro, you're a fucking documentary.
Yeah, I know.
You're a
Yeah.
Netflix
I
documentary.
know it. Yeah, I'm waiting. Hit me
So,
up.
no, for real.
Do
Yeah.
you even realize like what like people like? Do you have like the whole thing of like what people think about you, or do you
Yeah,
even realize
I get it. I get it.
Exactly.
I've
I
I've
feel like you get
Here's
it.
the thing, like I come from like my programming is to care about what everyone else thinks over what I think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I had to like that was
like
everything.
number one.
That was all of it. You know, like and so like that's what I've been moving out of.
Was
you
to
know?
deprogram
yes,
that.
yes.
Yes, to letting go of what no longer serves, and really, it's just moving it into a way that energy will serve you, right? It's
Yes.
a changing of perspectives in regards to that energy, so that you can repurpose it, right? It's like
Yes.
changing the perspective from it being a negative thing to
Yeah.
something that is you're actually like grateful for the lessons that it provided you with, and with a genuine,
Yes.
grateful attitude for it.
So
know
how
what
do
I
you
mean?
feel that relationship with that is now? Your relationship with that exactly? Like have you been able
care?
to completely that caring? Because I feel like anybody who exists online is subject to people just saying fuckery.
Right.
And-
well, I would say that everything comes in waves, right? Like, and so I'm going to continue to have those waves to, ride, right? And I've learned really helpful techniques to make sure that I do some sick lines on those waves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, like,
That's how I feel.
Yeah. It's like you can't stop the waves from coming. You can become a better surfer, though.
No, and you know,
You know?
what? Like 75% of the people are gonna, like, if you're doing the Lord's work,
Yeah.
what I like to say, like if you're
Yeah.
really moving in your purpose,
Moving for the spirit.
like 75% of people will fuck with you, but don't forget that 25% of people are built in to fucking hate you.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that is really important to understand, if you're doing something that's gutsy, that people are like, fucking, you're dumb for
Yeah.
doing that. I'm telling you that pick your favorite song, pick your favorite movie, pick your favorite actor, pick your favorite fucking restaurant, dish. It doesn't matter. Somebody fucking hates it.
Yeah.
They hate it with a passion. Somebody fucking hates it. Literally think of the best performance you've ever seen in your life. It gave you body chills. Someone's like, I fucking hate that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You know,
That's
you know what
true.
it is, though? Those people are so disconnected from themselves that what it is you're triggering that part of themselves that wants to come back
Like
out.
they won't allow
Yeah,
themselves to.
yeah, and so like they're lashing out because of the spark that you just caused inside of them. You know what I mean?
Yo, Rick Ross was
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah,
I saw
yeah,
Rick
yeah,
Ross
yeah,
say
yeah,
something.
yeah.
Rick Ross says something. He said, sometimes it's not even the person, it's just the person's circumstance.
Mm-hmm.
So the person's circumstance is so fucked up that they just can't help but just fuck you for being able to just leave your home state and go out there
Yeah.
chase it.
Oh, for
Fuck
sure.
you.
Yeah.
You with your face, fuck you, man.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
it's because it's almost like I wish I
Yeah,
could be
exactly.
that free.
I know it.
And so I feel like it's just a motivating message to people to say, like, dude, when you feel that fucking hate, like,
Dude, here's the thing. It's an honor to have them hate you. Think about it like that. It's a fucking honor. And why is it an honor? Because like them hating you is letting you know that you're making some sort of difference or
Some sort of impact.
you know,
Yeah.
within some really hard people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Seriously.
That's what it means. You're
Yeah.
making an impact. Like, and whether they will say that or not, it doesn't matter. They
That's
just
not
said
what
it by responding to
And
you.
a lot of it
Yeah.
is numbers in the sense of saying, like, if 75% of the people hate you and 25% of the people like your shit, well, then you're like, okay, well, maybe I should do something else.
Yeah.
You know, I get it. But 99% of the times, if you're doing you're following your soul and your passion,
Yeah.
75% of the people, look at the numbers, 75, 85% of the people fuck with you. And there's this tiny sliver of people that for some reason it feels more impactful than
It
the
feels-
75%. But that is a tiny and like I said, pick your favorite song in the world where you're like, bro, I could play this song every day for the rest of my life. I love this shit. Somebody fucking hates it. That will make you feel better with understanding that people are going to fucking hate you regardless. But
Yep.
it's never in the majority. Those
Yeah.
people are always in the minority.
Here's the and it's never really about you.
It's
No.
it's a
About
reflection.
them. It's them. They're projecting their hurt onto you because they are already hurting because of what they're doing to themselves.
So
You know
what would
I
you
mean?
like to
so
say
they
to
wanna
people
blame
like
you for their hurt? You
like
know
what
I
would
mean?
you in your experience, what
Right.
would you say to people like that are
Right.
hurting?
that are hurting?
That are hurting and commenting negative on somebody's post and
Right.
and putting that, projecting rather than intaking
Yeah.
and self-reflection.
I would say
and
that, like,
acceptance.
the emotions that are driving you or this person, like those emotions are so valid, and they're totally understandable from the perspective that you have. Like, even if you hate me right now, like, it's understandable based on whatever has been presented to you through your experience.
Yeah.
And I will say that, like, I know that it's not about me, and I love you regardless, and the more that you can let go of that and lean in to it, like, and actually, like, maybe try one of those things that, like, kind of was annoying or, like, you hated,
Yeah.
like, try a small thing and just see if maybe you actually like it now, because what's the only constant in the world is change.
Yeah.
It's the only constant. And so, like, if you're not constantly trying, like, similar things in new ways, like, I mean, like, you could like karaoke one night and then not like it another night. You could like noodles for like half of your life and then develop a fucking allergy to something in noodles or something. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like
100%.
right. It's like just lean into what you feel called and notice those things. Like, notice it. Like, that's the most valuable thing you can do for yourself, is just being aware that you're actually doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I completely agree.
Yeah. And here's the thing, like, you are me, I am you. Like, we are all, like, connected with this life that is living through all of us. You know what I mean? The living life itself is like the energy moving through us all, right? And it's like the same energy. There's nothing really different about it, right? What's different is, like, illusion. It's all kind of fake. Like, you know what I mean? That, like, the disconnection is, right? So, like,
yeah.
yeah. And so, like, the more that you're able to, like, tune in and, like, notice what's triggering you, and then love yourself through it. Tell yourself, hey, it's valid that you feel that way. That's what I do to myself when those things come up. Like, because I'll have those things, like, I'll like drive by someone and, like, they have, like, some weird, clothing or something that'll just trigger a part of myself that used to be like, oh, they look stupid, or like, oh, that I would never wear it like that, or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it's like,
I go through the same
I
shit.
catch it, and then when you catch it, you can say, okay, look, I just caught a person walking into the room. Think of it like a person that just walked in the room, like when you caught it, right? So you're gonna talk to this person, right? You're gonna say, hey, I see you, like, that's the biggest thing. The pain wants to be seen, right? And so you say, hey, I see you. It's so understandable and so valid that you feel the way that you feel. That sucks. It's okay, and it's gonna be okay.
God damn.
Right? Yeah. And then just let it go. Yeah.
Come on, man. All the way from LA, man. My God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Because you know what? The more you hold on to it, it's really just holding you back. It's not holding me back. You know?
You're not.
And the more you project to me, it's just gonna propel me forward. So thank you.
And it's only gonna hold you back.
Yeah,
It's only gonna make, because we're all building our own little realities where we're the main character, and you're either, creating an open world environment where you can explore and create new things, or you're creating a bubble environment where I'm only able to do these things, this constricted stuff. And I think that this mindset that you have really opens people's minds to say like to think differently. And that's what this podcast is all about, is that we're just happy to be here. Look, we're just happy to be existing right now. Right here, right now. And we want to be curious to other perspectives.
Yeah.
Because people have so much to offer, and your perspective and your journey and the shit that you did is fucking valid, dude. I don't care what any fucking person thinks to say, hey, you should have done this, you should have done that. Fuck that. I did this, and you can learn from all of this that all of us have done.
It's true.
And that's
Massively
why a podcast
grateful.
is fucking beautiful. Yeah, beautiful, dude.
Dude, it's like we talked about in the car before the podcast, right? It's like a mastermind group almost. Like when you share your story, you're sharing not just your story, but the lessons from your story, right? Like that's what people are actually hearing from your story, is the lessons that you've learned and the things that you've integrated, right? And like that's the most important thing, right? And like so when you open your mouth to share your story and the things that you're learning and what's happening after you do different things, right? You're like opening up a mastermind in the community.
Those are our teachings.
Yeah, exactly. That's where that's why we come to social medias and stuff like that, because we're bouncing these ideas, right? So that we can learn faster, right? And get in our highest life, together, right? We're lifting
100%.
each other up just by opening your fucking mouth.
No, seriously.
No matter what it is, even for the hate.
No, because people have different perspectives. And when you see somebody's perspective and you say, you grew up in an abusive family and you're projecting things that, bro, I can learn from that.
Dude.
And then you can learn from me, and then we can both become better people.
Right.
Because every single perspective is like a valid human experience that we can all just take.
Yeah.
And so that's the direction I want this podcast to go. And I just appreciate you because, like I said outside, this would not be the same if it was a virtual podcast. If you and me were just split screen on a fucking...
We bounced this idea, a few times, and like it's never felt like it should be a type of thing like that. It's always felt like this has got to be in person.
I can't thank you enough for just taking the time to fucking physically be here with us right now. And
I'm grateful to be here.
Let the people know. Let the people know where they can fucking find you on social media.
Lucius Allure. That's Lucius Allure. I got a link in my bio, and it shows like you can peep that link to check out the skateboards. It's a link tree, so like there's the skateboards at the top, there's Spotify, there's Apple Music where you can check out my tunes, and then there's Bandcamp where you can download it and shoot a donation if you want to do that. I also have a new fund that I'm repurposing the fund that went viral to get my van in partnership with the Skateboarding Hall of Fame. And so we are going to be relaunching that fund, that GoFundMe fund, as what we're calling it is the Home Ease on Wheels Fund. And so people can donate to that, and we buy kids in all the communities skateboards. So like that'll be coming up in my social media posts. We're going to start doing a whole, series where I'm just giving away skateboards that people have, donated for, So if you want to give a skateboard to some kid, bam, hit up that Home Ease on Wheels Fund right there. And then if you want to collaborate, photo shoots, you want a commissioned piece, or you want to become a vendor of my skateboards or my streetwear and different things like that, there is the email link in that link as well. And then Venmo and Cash App if you want to support the journey.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I do want to show you guys something because I made something this morning. So for the past 3 days, I've been challenging myself. I had a few things really trigger me to want to just full and break through the ceiling now, you know what I mean? And so I've been making a song a day for the past 3 days, which is funny because the past 3 days I've also been driving 12 hours a day or whatever,
shit.
Yeah. So I simultaneously making a song a day. and sending it off to my contacts.
Okay. Yeah. Let's fucking.
And so I wanna send you a track that I just made today, real quick.
Yeah. Do you need Brennan's number or what do
No,
you need?
I'm gonna send him the link on. I'm gonna send you a song.
Oh, I'm gonna play it on here.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Okay. Heck yeah,
I love it.
dude. And like, okay, so
One last shot.
yeah, this I made this in like 2 hours. Like beat and everything. That's another like.
You make the beats.
Yeah, I make all the beats. Do you know that? I make all the beats, everything. Like
You
a
start
lot of
from-
the
you start
instruments
from
are me playing
silent.
too. Like legit me playing. Some of them aren't. Some I have a big sample library and everything too. But like most of it is me. Like
That's awesome.
or collaged in with samples and stuff. You know what I mean?
I could tell that it was a little rough.
For sure. Yeah.
That it
Sometimes like yeah.
Yeah, but
I mean,
but
I record in my car.
you just need to
or-
mix and master. But it's
Exactly.
it's like it's that original. It's almost like a looper.
Yeah.
Like you had a looper. You're
Yeah.
creating your own beats.
Yeah.
You got your own
Yeah,
hooks
exactly.
and freestyle.
For sure. And it's kind of got this like whole, it's like with the amount that I've created now at this point, like I've got like what, I mean, so the ones on Spotify, two of the albums sound much more produced.
Yeah.
One of the albums sounds less produced, but like still kind of produced, And then the other three, you can tell it's like more like home production, right? And then like, now what's starting to come out is like, I'm kind of finishing them less and sending them off faster just because my priorities have changed. You know what I mean? Like I don't really want to do all the production stuff necessarily myself. I'd rather
you
sit there
don't.
with someone and have fun, like, and
let
bounce
them-
ideas.
and
Yeah,
let
let
them
them
do
do
their
their thing.
thing.
Exactly. That's what I want, I don't want to do that. So
We need to be able to hear it.
got me feeling good right now. Hold up. Cut it. Yeah. Oh, like that. All right. Bring it back. Woo. I'm rolling out of a crazy dream. Oh, my vision speaks to me. Light it on up, hey. Burn it down in the fire of the old me. Yeah. Navigate strange ways and my brain waves burn blazing. Breaking through the trauma, good karma, no more hesitating. Now I've risen, dreams won't slow my roll. Inspiration, giving self-control. It's a new dawn, new day. Gotta go and get it so you get paid. Yeah. I'm the king of the airwaves, and everybody loving my freeways. New face, no mask. With the nines, if we're gonna blast off. Fuck facet, we never soft. I'm rolling out of a crazy dream. Oh, my vision speaks to me. They said we bout to blast off. Get the spaceship, let it travel. We bout to burn it down in the fire of the old me. Yeah. Navigate strange ways and my brain waves burn blazing. Breaking through the trauma, good karma, no more hesitating. Now I've risen, dreams won't slow my roll. Inspiration pushing me to go up. My vision speaks.
Your setup too, like
Yeah.
what you use to record this
Dude,
shit.
yeah, I'd love to show you, bro.
What kind of mic do you use?
It's a MXL 990.
You just in the
100
car?
Yeah,
Just
dude. Yeah, I'll show you. Yeah. I'll show you, yeah.
That's tight.
Yeah.
All right, let's wrap this bitch up. Yo, Lucius Allure.
Yo.
Are we? I can hear
Can
me
they hear
through
us
the mic.
again?
That's just this.
I can hear me through the headphones. That's what it is.
Oh.
But I'm
okay.
good though.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's good,
You're
dude.
good. You're good.
Wow.
It's
All right.
muted now.
Yeah,
Bro,
let's-
it's been fucking real.
dude. let's go do a little hanging off camera. But
Yeah,
I
for sure.
appreciate you, dude, coming
Yeah,
through here
likewise.
and giving the people the story. I mean, I think we brought them through through the whole story like at
Yeah.
a very nice pace.
Oh, for
and
sure.
really touched on a lot of stuff. I mean, there's a
Definitely.
million more things we could talk about. We could definitely do
Oh yeah,
a
we
round
could
two.
deep dive. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I'm down to be on whenever. So yeah.
From LA.
Yeah. Yeah, just
Man,
as
I
grateful
appreciate you.
as you know, let me know that you are for me coming up, bro. I'm just as grateful to be here, bro. You know, and this is just as much a great opportunity for me. And I'm like, the gratitude is the attitude for sure.
Well, then the most important thing I need
Yeah.
you to do is look into this camera right here and tell the people
Bam.
one thing at least that you're grateful for today.
One thing that I'm grateful for myself and my authentic expression, and I'm grateful for my kids and every single motherfucking asshole that has like made it hard in my life, and every single beautiful soul that has like supported me and lifted me up. So I'm just grateful for every single part of my experience. So
That's made you who you are right now.
exactly.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Dope.
Lucius Allure, ladies and gentlemen.
It's a beautiful present.
What you got, Cody? You got anything for the end here?
I don't.
All right, let's go.
All I know is that was a really good story, and like that was great. I had a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
Likewise.
Me too.
Dude.
We got
Yeah.
some serious art.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Good to meet you
So,
guys.
you too, brother.
All right, guys.
Sick, dude.
Peace.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll have to show
Thank
you
you,
that
man.
song with some beats.
Well, it is what it is, and it ain't that bad. You leave forever, then you lose what you had. You're the only place called home, called Spokane. You're the only place called home, called Spokane. You're the only place called home, called Spokane.
Yeah.
Analysis, right? Like, that's a funny word, too. I was actually thinking about that yesterday. It's funny. Anal. ISIS or analyze, right? It's like you're looking at something, right? You're looking at something that you processed, right? It's like your butt has eyes, anal eyes. Anyways, this is funny.